am I cutting?
Like,
You are
you started, bro.
Oh my god, seriously? I'll just take my video off. Hey guys, we are live with some bonus content here. I have Scott, Evan, Navishin, and Jarrett with me, Alex, and we're gonna talk about some bullshit. Some bullshit. Evan, how's your week been?
Good. Busy work.
Just good.
Yeah, I've been working a lot.
Is it good to be back at work? Are you still wearing a hair steater?
Yep.
I actually don't know. Okay. They seem to be really good about you, like, going to school.
Yeah. That's their thing.
Alright. It's not like I just know Harris Teeter's thing.
It's right next to the eggs that Evan goes to school.
Alright, well that's good to know. Alright. Anything else, man? Anything interesting happened this week? You go to Hershey Park? Did you
No, I
suplex
wish.
a cat? Did you have a
Nope.
Barbie shower? Barbie baby
I'm
shower?
looking for a new bed set, but hey.
That's right, you texted me just out of the blue, what kind of mattress do you have? And I'm like,
Yeah.
is this
Say,
a
are you
serial
calling
killer
on me?
question?
No, yeah.
I have like... Go ahead.
I'm looking for a new bigger bed because right now I have a twin size bed.
Oof.
So, yeah.
Queen is like the magic sweet spot.
Yeah, I have
a motherfucker like myself.
I'm getting a full. My bedroom won't allow a queen size bed. It's too small.
It's true. I've only been in your bedroom like once, and I don't remember what it looks like.
Yeah, it's
How do you still
really
have
small.
a twin-sized bed, though? That's like for race
Because
cars and stuff.
I've been lazy and I didn't want. My parents have been lazy.
Okay.
Do you at least like have like the long twin? Because you're fucking
No.
you're a tall person. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, Evan,
Twin.
I'm sorry, man, but this might hurt to hear, but you're a little big. You're on the
I know.
You are like 6'3".
I'm 6
And-
foot. Okay, not 6 foot
You
3.
you have got to be at least a little bit taller than 6'1" or
No,
6.
it's like right around 6 foot. Like
Okay.
Are you hanging off your
5'11"
bed
and a
when you go to sleep and stuff?
Yeah, like
Yes.
are your feet just dangling? That
Jesus,
sounds
man.
so awful. All right, get a queen, man, or at least like a long twin. Long twin.
I can't get a queen. It won't fit. I'm getting a full size.
Okay.
Nah, man, screw full. Go king.
I don't know.
Your room is all bed.
Scott, you and I saw the incredible Burt Wonderstone together, didn't we?
Yep.
Remember that fucking 9 times king size bed?
Yeah, Evan went to go see that too, didn't he?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Yeah.
I blacked out who I saw that with, but I saw it like on Netflix or something this week, and I was like, I saw that movie with like Scott or something. Normally, Scott and I just see Spider-Man movies and Thor 2 together.
Normally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. All right, Evan, get a 9 times king size bed,
I will.
and invite Olivia Wilde to sleep in it, because always
Okay.
invite Olivia Wilde to sleep in the bed.
Dear Olivia Wilde, I just bought a queen size bed. Would you like to hang out?
Would you like to hang out? Eh?
Implications.
She's I don't know if she's pregnant or just had a child, but yeah. Queen
Either
size
way,
bed.
she's probably not actually going to hang out with on your bed.
Probably not. I have an off-brand Tempur-Pedic mattress, basically. It's Memory Foam is the brand, I think. You get it at like Costco or BJ's or whatever. It's like $200, but it's so worth it. Oh,
That blowjob's worth that much. Jeez.
yeah.
You could have got a blowjob.
The only way I can,
Not a memorized foam.
I have memorized phone. The only way I can get it is if I pay for it. So
Well, listen, you got money. Obviously, you have money for Tempur-Pedic fake ass memory foam beds.
some fake ass bullshit.
Just some bullshit ass bed.
Evan, anything else happened to you this week? that you want to
Nope.
talk about? Okay. Well, Scott. Yeah.
I just want to know. I'm thinking about where to start.
Okay.
Let's see.
Where to start?
We
man?
started packing, to move. That's,
Okay. That's
It's
true.
a bit scary because we have to be out of here in, I think, 27 days now, and we don't have a place to go.
No. That's the worst.
That'll do it.
So yeah. Basically, the house that we wanted doesn't have any water, so yeah, it's a bit too expensive not to have water.
Mm.
Yeah, that would be rough.
So yeah, we are back to looking at houses, and that's what I've been doing for a lot of the week. A decent chunk of it, at least.
Okay. Any
It's funny,
any
'cause
things
we
that
gotta
you
go.
like particularly?
I'm not big on caring about houses.
Yeah, I understand. Like my parents love looking at houses, but recently I kind of got into it because I like the idea of a dream home, and I'll just
Yeah, so
stumble
do
upon
we all
it
do,
someday.
Alex. We all do.
Yeah, well, I am talking about me right now.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I've moved 5 times already. This being
Yeah.
the 5th.
I think I've moved 5 times. Four times.
I moved once.
Oh, excuse me. Nabishin moves like once every year, right? At this point.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Jeez.
Yeah. So it's at this point. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
I basically look for 3 things. Do I get to sleep somewhere that's kind of closed off? Yes. All right. Good.
Okay.
Does it have water? No. Not good.
Not good. What's the third
Does it
thing?
have a pool?
Pool counts
Pool,
as
no
water.
water. I was about to say.
Well, you can have a pool, but without water. I mean, come on now.
We have a pool without water. You are right, Evan.
But in that case, pool would not matter.
What's your third thing, Scott?
Guess you're a skater.
Yeah.
The third thing was, fuck.
Go on. Oh, okay. I see now.
Space to sleep, water. Oh yeah, is it right next to a highway? I mean like 40 miles an
Yeah.
hour kind of highway.
Yeah.
It's not a highway. Highway is 29.
Well, technically 29 is a freeway, but
No, because when it's like 35, 40, people are going 60.
yeah.
That's true.
Anywhere where people will go really fast so you can't sleep because all you hear is people going really fast. And doesn't have in that case doesn't have a sound wall, I guess. All right. So, no luck so far. Are you like freaking out at all, or are you not worried? about
No, I'm not that worried about it.
it? All right. As
I
long as it
mean,
has high-speed internet.
there's places to go. It's that we haven't decided on one yet.
Okay.
So moving's not going to take that long. Packing's not going to take all that long. That's not going to change.
Yeah. How come I've never helped you move, Scott? I mean, I guess you do have your family does like have an armada of children to basically help you.
We have a lot of children. We got fucking trailer to help move shit.
Yeah.
Got a couple of cars already.
Yeah. I mean, I had 2 brothers, and that was more than I could handle growing up. I can't handle 3. I can't handle the idea of 3.
Yeah, neither could Sean.
And he's the baby. All right. Anything else, Scott? Anything else worth noting about?
Nope.
Jared, what about you? How's life?
You know, it is.
You know,
Things stuff.
things and stuff. That sounds great. That sounds so
Yeah.
positive and happy.
It's not positive.
Okay.
Good things.
Something cool happened today.
Something cool did happen today. I got my my first. No, not my first real freelancing job, but by far the biggest.
Mm.
I got an article published today by IGN.
What?
Sitting on that one.
About NetherRealm and how their resurrection of Mortal Kombat as a series might have also been, or could be, instrumental in the resurrection of the genre. The title is kind of misleading, a little bit. It's probably the only thing me and Justin Davis didn't really agree on, but he can do whatever he wants with the title, and he did. But the article actually got pretty good. We were talking about the comments earlier. It's relatively well received. The only problem I have with the article is I fucked up huge in it, and I feel like a giant asshole. I thought I was being cool and knowledgeable and made an Eternal Champions reference, but I also called it Eternal Warriors. I felt like a giant idiot. Because Eternal Warriors is a comic book that I was reading at the same time. Typed in Eternal Warriors, meant Eternal Champions. And everyone who read the article that I had proofread, they're not big enough assholes to know what Eternal Champions was and correct me. So I had to go walk that journey by myself.
Rough.
So I was super proud of my off-color fighting game reference, and so was the internet when they decided to let me know that I'm a giant asshole. Fuck that. But other than that, they mostly agree. You'll have the people who are like, Mortal Kombat's balls, play Ultimate Marvel's Capcom 3, or you're an asshole.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat X isn't even out yet. How could we say it could revolutionize? Which means they didn't really read the article and don't really understand. Or insert my favorite game and why it's better than this game.
Of course.
But
the standard stuff.
I expected that. That's fine.
Okay.
So overall, it kind of went off pretty much as I expected, which is pretty cool. And I mean, it's kind of coincidental. The last time I was on this show, I said I wanted to start writing for money, and the next time I'm here, I start writing for money.
Yep.
So make another goal right now. So the next time you're on,
I want Olivia Wilde to hang out on my queen size bed.
God damn it!
So I'm happy you've been on this show for so long, Jared. Too bad you'll never be back on again.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna work, but here's hoping the Irrational Passions push, the bump.
You know that IP bump.
I'm gonna tweet her. Listen to Irrational Passions podcast right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, we had Greg Miller on our show, then he got 100,000 followers.
Right. Then suddenly he's certified. So
Yeah.
I think it's real. I think the Irrational Passions book's really real.
You know how it works.
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. Well, that's a really awesome thing. I was very excited. I've been excited about it.
I was excited when it's pretty much all been like I knew it was going to happen, but I was excited when I got the email to sign like my official freelance paperwork because that means it wouldn't waste the time if it wasn't going to get run. So when all the official shit was done, I realized it's going to happen in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
I guess the hope now is that the impression was made so when I pitch again, someone will recognize me, and hopefully that'll make the second go around an easier one.
Hopefully. You're a good writer, so
I wasn't even going to pitch that idea to IGN. I was going to go somewhere else, somewhere smaller, but I figured I'd pitch there, they get back to you pretty rapidly, so I would know whether it's not going to work on IGN soon enough where I would be able to make backup plans. It turns out it worked.
There you go.
And I had already written a good amount of it anyway, so...
Yeah, it was definitely a very cool thing. I'll have to talk to you about other different details that we won't talk about on here, but I'll talk to you about that afterwards, just to appease my curiosity.
Get me in, bro. I brought you up. I can bring you back down.
I brought you up.
I brought you up.
Streets is calling.
Exactly what I'm talking about. Now I can Now I completely lost my train of thought. But what are we talking about? We're going to talk about some freelance stuff in a little bit. Once we actually start the show, and everyone else will suffer through that, but they can suffer.
Suffer. Whatever. I suffered through core talks.
Coming back! I can't believe you suffered through those. They're
I was
like
what
5
are you
minutes.
fucking talking about?
You can skip 5 minutes. Well, you
I've
should
seen
fucking
3
watch the
episodes
show.
of Avatar, like the first season. I'm like way out of the core talks.
Yo, man, they're coming back, man. Starts tonight. Shit goes down tonight. We're gonna be talking about that next week. All right.
I feel so weird talking about that a week late while having watched the newer episode.
I know, but like we record on Fridays, so there's not much we could do.
Except for record on Saturdays.
Fuck
Yeah.
that. How about fuck that? Anything else, Jarrett? Anything cool happen in your life?
I saw a car fire today. That was cool.
I saw the Twitter picture.
I was like,
Facebook picture.
whoa. It literally is like I thought it was just pollution from a truck in front of me, and then the truck like moved out of the way, and there was a guy running away from his flaming car. I was like, oh, that's actually a car on fire. That was really cool.
Did you do anything?
I drove by slowly.
Okay.
To take a picture. Yeah, like when I was driving, I don't know where I was going, but I was going through like just south of DC, like right in the beginning of Virginia, and there was just a bus entirely on fire, like a full bus, just completely. The entire inside was exploding with flames. They're firefighters just trying to put it out.
It's funny because car fires are like, depending on where you are, aren't that uncommon. Like if you go to, I'm sure if you go into great parts of Baltimore, a car fire is pretty much just like a dog walking down the street.
Yeah.
I have friends who live in Camden, which those who like to keep track of almanac-worthy stats has been one of the most dangerous cities in the country for like a decade.
Mm-hmm.
But like cars are just on fire in Camden. Like literally, I've dropped friends off. It doesn't in different parts of Camden. It doesn't really matter where you are at night. A car's probably on fire, and no one cares. Just drop them off. Is that a car on fire in the woods? Oh yeah, I mean it happens. The fuck do you mean it happens? That's a car on fire.
In the fucking woods, man. It's burning.
Yeah, like Smokey is like really disappointed in you right now.
Only you, man. Get that Shovel Knight achievement and learn something about yourself.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean I've been in Baltimore quite a few times, and I've never actually seen a car on fire in Baltimore.
Neither
But
have
I don't doubt that it is a common occurrence.
I've been there 3 times and saw a car on fire once. That's a third of the time that I've been to Baltimore.
That's pretty good. That's
That's
a
a pretty good
33% chance of car fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are good odds. I take
That's
those
a pretty
odds.
good odds. I can now pretty much expect a car to be on fire every time I go now.
Yeah. From here on out, as long
Yeah,
as you
from here
spend
on
like
out,
a
I'm
couple
this.
of days.
Right.
All right. Nobshin, what about you? Life.
Nothing much really. Well, I guess there's something like I put in my month notice for my job, and they're like, oh, so yeah, that was the thing.
So you've got a date picked out to drive back home.
Well, yeah, like I put it down for the 25th of July for my last day of my job. That's a Friday. And I'll probably leave here like when my dad's like not too busy, so he can help me like take some of my stuff out of here, the fridge and shit like that, and put it on the van so we can all leave. So it'll be sometime around that last week of July that I leave.
All right. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited, nervous, hesitant?
I'm empty inside. No, it's I'm fine. Like, yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. I feel nothing. I was joking earlier. Now
I am nothing.
Now that I think about it, I don't feel anything. It's like, there's something I'm doing. Okay. I just need to to apply to a bunch of jobs so I can actually have a job while I'm back down there, because I do not want to stay at my parents too long. Not that it's bad, but I'm 20 fucking 8. I can't stay there for more than a couple months.
All right. You know what? I'm excited for you. Let's see. New chapter begins. Or old chapter gets revisited. Whatever ends up happening. But should be fun. We'll watch the evolution via the internet of this podcast. And you might not have like fucking garbage internet wherever you go next.
Oh, yeah, I'm guaranteed I won't have fucking garbage internet. That's my goal, priority. I'll have a camera on. I'll have a camera on and shit like that. Hopefully.
Yeah. All right. As for me, if that's all an option.
Yes.
As for me, well, I didn't really do anything this week. I sat and looked at a page and wrote down a lot of one-word sentences that hopefully will become ideas for things that I can turn into full articles and that people would want to pay money to have on their website. That's what I did this week. Well, I've been just disgustingly sick for the past like day and a half. I'm not feeling great right now, but I'm feeling a little bit better. And yeah, it was a very uneventful week. If Greg were here, he would
you
complain. Go ahead.
Like I find that a theme in your life is that you're constantly sick.
Yeah.
This is old news.
Yeah, this is the
You know, maybe I'm just throwing it out there. Like, when you're sick, like Chipotle is not the medicine.
It's true.
You can't just be like,
Come
I'm
on,
sick.
Alex.
I need to fuck this burrito up. This will probably make me feel better. And it does for like a second, and then you're like, actually, the germs are still there, so I think I'm still ill.
I went to Chipotle today because it's been a long couple of weeks. I haven't actually been to Chipotle in like 3 weeks. So I was like, I want to get a burrito because I miss them. And then I did.
I tried to go yesterday to the one near me, and the line's always wrapped around the building.
Yep.
That is not one Chipotle. That is like all.
No, it's like every one I've been to, and I'm like, I'll never have a Chipotle like taco. I never had the time to wait in that line.
Yeah. Hey man,
It's
if you ain't got no time, you ain't got no Chipotle, and that's an understandable thing.
It is. I get it.
I feel bad for you though. I feel bad for you, son. I got no.
I mean, I have problems.
I want
Fuck
fucking quesadillas and shit.
All
That'd
them
be cool as fuck.
quesadillas. Although today I was like, I'm gonna cut this burrito in half, and I'm only gonna eat half right now because it's more than enough. So I don't know. I've been dieting very well recently, and then occasionally I'll have Chipotle, and I'll just like feel shitty for a day, but then I'll get back to it. But yeah.
What? Do you not go to the gym anymore with Damien? Like, somewhat daily? Or...
Damien goes to a different gym. Well, he's moved recently. I don't know if you guys know that he moved.
Oh, I didn't know that.
To Glen Dirty. So he goes to a different gym now. I go usually like once a week if I can manage it. I haven't gone yet this week. I was thinking about going tomorrow, but we'll see. Because Greg and Mupp. But I was gonna say if Greg was here,
Fuck that.
he'd be complaining that we can't get a Mupp to happen. And well, it doesn't look like we're recording tomorrow anyway. But yeah, I usually go like once a week. Just to
Says the guy who's not even here now. Fuck you, Greg.
Fuck you, Greg. You're falling into that Ryan Clark tier of person. But
Wow.
wow, harsh. Jeez.
I wasn't going that far. I just said
You
fuck
can't
you.
come back from that. Yeah. So that my week was very uneventful. Nothing interesting happened. I'm a pretty boring person. I've been just helping my roommate. So let's get recording. And I'm gonna turn on the air conditioners because I'm fucking sweating in here. That's why I'm wearing a tank top. It's just hot. Oof, hot tamales. Does everybody have Audacity ready and open?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll hit record. Let me check it. I didn't hear Evan talking, so I wasn't sure if he was like in the other room.
We're all good.
All right, I'll hit record on Juan as per usual. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No, I don't want to.
Give me 1 second.
No. This is Irrational Passions, episode 184. This is your host, Evan. We're starting without Alex.
Keep going. Talk about the pre-read stuff without him.
Yeah. Keep going, Evan. I want to see where this goes.
I'd tune out.
He's already down. Someone has to step up and take the flag.
Jared,
Yeah, you missed all that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say you're almost usurped, but you might have almost been usurped.
almost. It's about time. I've been doing this for 4 years almost. 4 years in fucking 1.5 weeks, by the way, guys.
seriously, it's awesome.
That's totally awesome. July 6th, man.
Wait, what? When is it?
July
July
6th.
6th was when we recorded the first episode.
Oh, doesn't mean we gotta do a live show?
We don't have to. Christ.
No, I'm asking.
We should do a Twitch show.
Okay.
We'll see. If we do one, it might be better just to do it for episode 200. Which is crazy to think that's gonna be in like October.
I know, right?
All right.
Oh, idea?
What's up?
You should do what Evan's been wanting to do forever, and like, oh, let's go back to the old format for next week's show. I don't know.
We could do a first run style show, and you guys can see how fucking terrible it is. The thing, like, if I just copied and pasted like what the Google Doc looked like back then into
We went through this. We went through this already.
I know, but if I just did that and you guys just didn't know, you didn't think about it, you forgot, you open the Google Doc, you're like, what the fuck is this shit? The show would fall apart in front of our eyes. No breaks, man.
I mean, one who doesn't know what's going on.
Oh god, I'm just thinking back to it. All right.
What, you want to pull an old format out of the bag?
Yes.
Well, you know what? I'll go through some of the older formats and pick one that doesn't suck. We'll bring Joe back on. He's coming on next week. That'd be
Happy anniversary, Joe.
Happy anniversary. I love you. He was a host on here for 2 years. He deserves some credit, I guess.
I guess.
For 2 years? Wasn't it just one?
No, it's 2.
Are
So,
you
like,
sure?
Episode 13 to episode like 1.
That early?
Ish.
Dang.
Yeah, we got Joe pretty early.
We hooked him, hook, line, and sinker. Joe wants to start a video or a TV show movie podcast with me, and I was like, okay. Well, I'm not gonna edit it though. I do enough of that shit already. All right, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do before I
Start
start.
the show.
All right. I don't need it. Don't need it. Above it. All right. It is Friday, June 27th, 2014, and you're listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast. I'm Alex O'Neill. With me today, I have Evan Wall.
Huh? That's me?
Hey, that's you. Scott Guthier is here.
You fucked it up, Evan. You fucked it up.
Brian Nabashin Jackson is here.
Ah, America. What a place. In America, there's a mouse hole in every wall. In America, there's a breadcrumb on every floor. In America, you can say anything you want. But the most important, and this is a fact that I know, in America, there are no cats. That's it.
No cats. And speaking of cats, Jared John, Jared Green is here.
That's racist.
That actually doesn't make sense.
Well, he's a cool cat.
No. There's a wrestler called the Cat. So there you go.
Yeah, you're right.
There you go. See,
Cat.
I knew the whole
You wore a
time.
cat suit and danced a lot.
We have a good show lineup for you. 184. We are here. We are happy and I don't know, something about video games. No news happened.
Whatever.
We're gonna whatever. To catch you up on a quick few things. If you are unfamiliar, IrrationalPod.com is where we are at, and some cool stuff went up there this week that I think that you should read, such as a review of Mario Kart 8 and some E3. E3. I usually fuck that up, so I'm glad I didn't this time. Some E3 kind of impressions of what a couple of the writers are excited about, Charles and Anutis specifically. And my review of Shovel Knight went up. Also, you can check out Jarrett's feature about Mortal Kombat X on IGN.com. Which is
What?
It's a cool thing.
That's right,
Read it.
bitch.
Read it, give him views, and then make IGN be like, man, this guy got a lot of views. We should throw money at him always.
Yeah, he's like, Sky want money? Because we got that, right?
That's how it works.
I think that's how it works.
So to kick this off, I want to step aside this Nobishin Evan Scott business. Push this aside. Talk to Jarrett for a moment.
Don't bring this writing ramble shit in here.
Whatever's got to live somewhere. That's what's living through you.
Gotta bring it back.
It's a chest burster right through the Irrational Passions podcast.
Just call me John Hurt because it's about to rip out my heart. It's a weird fun fact that John Hurt was that guy who got fucking his chest exploded.
Some trivia.
Some weird young John Hurt is a very sexy man, I'll say. So Jarrett, you published like your first kind of like big freelance article this week.
Yeah.
That was cool. I'm glad that it was out in time for us to do this podcast. I was hoping it would be, but I wasn't sure.
I was pretty sure it was going to be either yesterday or up to latest Saturday, is what I was told.
Okay. So you and I are part of this Facebook group, this neat little Facebook thing that Nathan Munier started. Munier? I don't.
It looks kind of French Canadian.
Yeah. I mean, he says it on the Freelance Game podcast, but
I always miss it.
Yeah. It's just so quick. It's the Freelance Game Journo Network. It's you have to be kind of accepted into it. But if you are a video games writer and are curious about it, then maybe you should check it out. So I joined this last week, and I didn't really have anything to say about it then when we recorded last week. But now you're here, Jared. You are also a participant in it. I wanted to kind of just discuss with you what you think of the Facebook group.
I think it is a great idea. I think it's kind of the same idea that both Irrational Passions became when it had a writing team, and what I've tried to do with some of the audio content and some of the other sort of collaborative efforts since then, to try to build a sense of a community with the writers side of the community, or the gaming industry, and there is a community to people who work, in the bigger houses that go to the conventions and see each other on the same circles all the time, but not so much with the freelancers. And that sort of unity really helps the staff writers in these big places, because they share contacts, share information, they network far better and have far better resources amongst themselves. And it's not really the same story for people who don't travel those circles with the same frequency. And Nathan Munier is like the perfect sort of in-between, because he's been at this for a while to the point where he freelances professionally. That's his full-time job. And he does do the same circuits with the same frequency as staff writers, has those sort of connections, but also has that freelance spirit where he puts together a group to share those connections and those experiences in either anecdotally or actual factual sort of contact information for people looking to do the same thing. And it brought a lot of people who are in similar positions as him to be sort of pseudo-mentors to a lot of people who aren't. And that is the first time I've really seen that sort of real active push to refresh the talent in the freelance games writing sort of industry. You see it all the time everywhere else, where getting new people to learn things is more beneficial to the industry, and in a part of the games community that is in flux and is very volatile. I think that it's super necessary to ensure its future and ensure its stability, to make sure that people who are trying to do this do it the right way or have the right guidance from people who have already done it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the week and a half I think the group's been together, it's been super invaluable to me. I've seen sites that I didn't even know existed that pay, which is weird. I've been reading. I read game news every day. I've been reading game news for 20 years. Then there are sites that have existed I've never knew existed that have sizable staffs and have some like really provocative exclusives that you would expect bigger places to have. And it's really a wealth of knowledge. And anyone who's interested and has been trying, this is exactly the kind of position you want to put yourself into.
Yeah, it was an interesting kind of stumble upon. Like I was like the second person that joined the group. And
How did you even hear about it?
Well, Nathan, like he said, I'm gonna try something crazy on Twitter, and he's like, if you're a freelance writer or video games journalist, just join. Ask for an invite to join this Facebook group that I'm starting. We'll see what happens. And he just posted a link to it on Twitter, and then I retweeted that and I said this sounds like a good idea. Let's see what happens. And like I joined it, and then there were like 6 people for like a couple hours, and then there were like 70 people, and then it's about like 180 now, which is still very condensed, which I like. I think that's good, and it just like instantly became something that I just checked. I check it like every 2 hours, maybe, just because everything there that somebody posts is something I think that's worth reading. And it kind of came to me because when I said, hey, let's put writers on the website, most of the people that applied, saving like you, Jarrett, and I think Jacob had written for another video game website, and Anutis had, but everyone else had never really written for a games website. So they were just kind of like looking to me for guidance and how to structure reviews and how all that stuff was. And that was awesome. And then this is like the literal opposite end of the spectrum, where I've never been published or paid as a freelance writer yet, but almost everyone else in this group has been. And it's just been... But no one's like... It doesn't come off as like I feel like I'm not good enough to be around these people. It comes off as like there's nothing that I can learn absolutely everything from all of these people.
There's nothing you can ask that they probably haven't already gone through already.
Yeah. And it was good because it came to me at a time when I'd just been pounding my face up against the wall for like 2 months, and nothing was happening and nothing was moving, and I just needed something different, some kind of different conversation to be a part of, to talk about that. And this was pretty much exactly what I needed. And everyone in the group, just it is a group of like-minded individuals, where usually you'll find a lot of like a sex of the group, subsections that are just very different, and they're doing their own thing, but this feels like everyone is kind of working to the same goal. And it's been a very long and interesting week of a lot of big people that write about video games that I really respect have just been posting hopeless things about it. And this group has been a nice kind of thing to fall back on as there is still hope if you're trying to write about video games and get paid for it. And
I feel like the freelance end is the future of video game writing, because these places are only getting smaller, and having the money to have a salaried staff of individuals who show up every day to write this content is becoming more and more expensive. But it's really easy to find someone else who isn't on your salary, who doesn't collect a paycheck every 2 weeks, to just pay once for an article and disappear.
Yep. Yeah,
you don't pay the taxes the same way. It might be beneficial in the long run.
Yeah, it's just seeing that, like, that idea kind of permeate my head for the past week or so, because of all these people talking just how rough it is out there for people to, like, basically be full-time employed writing about video games and covering them, has kind of changed my perspective on writing about video games, I think, for the better. And it's made me try harder, I think. I hope. It's just been a very invaluable resource that I wanted to touch on. And it's a really cool thing that you should look into if you are like me and hope to someday be paid to write about video games full time. So there you go. Anything else to add, Jarrett?
It pretty much covers it. These people are, like you said, this group is full of like-minded people, and I think the freelance community is full of like-minded people. No one's comfortable. No one's made it. They know that they're as good as the last thing they wrote, and who the last person they wrote it for. And it doesn't matter your skill level or your exposure. Like, everyone is looking for the next one, and everyone's trying to help everybody else get the next one because everybody knows how hard it is.
Yep.
And there's a lot of mutual respect for people that have never met each other and really have no reason to respect each other, really. And people whose work I've read and didn't know they were there, didn't know that was them. Like, Nathan Dune wrote the Sniper Elite 2 review 2 years ago for IGN. I had no idea. I read that review twice. I had no idea it was him until he posted it today. And there are plenty of stories that pop up like that in this group, and it's really interesting. And everyone's trying to make it, and I think that's a really good mentality for people who are trying to start out to get into something like that.
Yeah, and it's helped me meet like a lot of cool people through Twitter that I've just started reading their work, and have just learned to really appreciate and respect their work. Just seeing a couple of their posts in there and kind of getting a grip for their style. And yeah, there are a lot of very good writers out there that I am excited at the prospect of maybe working with them someday. So yeah, it's a cool thing. It's something you should check out, the Freelance Game Journal Network, if you get the chance. But let's talk about some video games. Let's move forward. Scotty, did you play any video games this week by chance that aren't Bravely Default?
Of course. Have you played any Bravely Default?
No.
Bastard.
I know.
Let's see. There's nothing too particularly new.
Did you play Shovel Knight? Because everyone else here played Shovel Knight.
Nah, man, I'm passing on that one.
Ah, you piece of shit.
What? Come on, Scott.
You'll play it. You should play it at some point, I'll say.
I'll probably play it at some point. I've yet to get started on Fire Emblem.
Did you pick it up, or did you borrow it from your brother?
I've borrowed it from my brother.
Okay.
Then Tomodachi Life was still happening, so that happened.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's just some run-of-the-mill stuff. I pretty much cleared Binding of Isaac at least once per day this week.
Wow, that's good. You're excited for Rebirth still, I expect?
Yes?
Maybe?
I still don't know if he's even happening, okay?
Yeah.
I think they just put out some news about it having co-op, like some update about that.
Yeah, they talked about that a few weeks ago. It will have co-op, and apparently it's a lot of fun.
The wait for that game.
I know. It's been in development for like 2 years.
Should have kept it more under wraps. Just for a little bit longer.
I mean, what you gonna do?
Oh, these are the same people that wanted you to steal it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it'll be. They keep saying it'll come out this year, some point. Like what pissed me off is when Edmund like posts like pictures of him playing it on his Vita. Is like, it's great on Vita, and I'm like, thanks.
Can't I have it yet?
Yeah, like, can you put it out now? How about that? If it's so fucking great on Vita.
Just keeping him to himself at this point. They can't play it. They gotta wait.
He's probably just doing balancing at this point, which will take years. It'll take 2 more years. It'll be fine. Anything else, Scott?
Again, there's nothing new this week. Played some League, some Dota, Mining of Isaac. It's opened up, I don't know, a couple other games that aren't anything worth mentioning.
Okay.
League.
League.
I
You said
already
League.
mentioned that.
Oh, okay.
That's how not worth mentioning it was. He already covered it. Garbage. All right. What about you, Nobishin? Video games. What did you play? We'll save Shovel Knight for last. For all of
Yeah.
us.
For all. God, what else did I play? I'm trying to think of something else before I get to my big thing. The only other thing I played. Oh yeah, I played a little bit of Mario Kart 8. That's not really worth mentioning. I still haven't got all my gold trophies. I'm just doing that slowly but surely. I'm only like 3 cups away from getting all the gold trophies. So that's my end goal, and I'll be happy with that. But yeah, everything about me this week has been nothing but Tomodachi life. Like what was the last thing I said was I got married to Chie. That was the last thing that happened. And from last week, yeah, and then yeah, I had a baby. Or we had a baby, I should say. Her name was Tally, and I watched her grow up, and then pretty much like the end sequence for that game, or at least like after, when it gets to this point and you see Christ and shit like that, is when she grows up and she leaves the house and to venture out on her own. Yeah, that was something. Something like, cause I was consumed by that game. It was fucking ridiculous.
The way this game has eaten your life has been so fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's crazy because like as soon as she was born, it was like I just had to like check on her like maybe every 10 minutes, 20 minutes just to see how she was. Like
So she was a real child.
It was almost like that. It felt like to me. So it was like it was so weird. It was a surreal experience. I kept taking pictures, like every time, like, oh, she like, like I took a picture and I posted it on Twitter and Facebook. I was so upset with myself. I kept posting on Facebook because, like, you know, that's not something I post my video game garbage on. But I have friends like my best friend Katie. She's interested in Tomodachi, so I was like trying to share it with her. So I'm feeling like my mom is seeing these pictures and she's like getting like really worried about me, like, oh my god, she's in the second life bullshit or something like that. So I'm like, I'm concerned. I'm gonna get like a lecture or something like that. Like my mom gonna call me any day. Like, what is this? Like, you have a girlfriend, or a wife, or like from some video game person? Like, what are you doing with your life? I'm like, I don't want to hear that. So like, I'm getting like, it's kind of a weird thing. But like, yeah, like, when Tally eventually grew up, and she left the house, like they did this like little whole ending montage of like her being a baby, like these little pictures and shit like that. I posted that shit on YouTube. I'll share it with you later out so you can see what it looks like.
You sent me like this one video that I thought was fucking hysterical. And
what video did I send you?
It was the Reggie and Yukiko video.
Oh yeah, like I encourage you, Scott, to like with one of your relationships, like break up one relationship. You'll see something just fucking amazing.
I've been trying to do that forever, and it's not working.
I mean, eventually they'll come to you like, you know, like, I don't think we should be together anymore. What do you think? And you just say no to that, and then like for instance, like Reggie and Yukiko, like Yukiko was tired of Reggie. She wanted to break up, so she took him to a cafe. It's like, I'm sorry, we're over. And then like she leaves him at the cafe. So Reggie's like super sad that bar of happiness is like this full of sadness now. So like you have to bring that down. And then like you see the little picture of him thinking of Yukiko. He tap on it, and it's like, oh, I just remember the good times. And then like you get this like little like this saxophone that's playing, and like you just see these memories of Reggie of Yukiko. Like you see him like running on the beach with her, like, I'm gonna catch you, Yukiko. Like, ha ha ha, you can't catch me. And they're running on the beach in slow motion, just throwing water at each other. And he was like reminiscing how much he loved her and stuff like that. Oh my god, it's so good. I actually posted it on YouTube too. I'll share that with you guys. But
it's good.
It's really good. Yeah, but like honestly though, like after like this experience of me having child and having my wife, And just like having that go through, like I think I'm officially done with that game now. Like not like a bad one. Oh, I'm not fucking done with this game, but like it's like I got my closure. I got my closure with that game with my child growing up. I see her grow up, and I let her go. It was emotional. I didn't cry because I'm a man, but,
Shut the fuck
Okay, no.
but it really got to me though. Man, that was something. That was a crazy experience. Yeah, I can't play that game anymore. It's like I guess it's like compared to like something like Code Geass and Gurren Lagann. Greg would know what I'm talking about. Like, but the endings for those series, like I can almost not watch those series ever again because like though Gurren Lagann didn't fulfill me with their ending, like it was still like a fantastic journey. Same with Code Geass. Code Geass ending was good though. But like, yeah, like this whole journey with Tomodachi Life, it's been something for me, and I don't think I can touch that game again just because it really meant that much to me, and like it's definitely my game of the year so far at least. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about video games.
Yeah, it's been fascinating watching you play this game and just like seeing how you talk about it on Twitter in like this kind of weird, reserved way. Like I don't want to sound too crazy, but.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you some crazy shit that
But
just
let me
happened.
tell you, I'm married and I love her. Shut up. Yeah, no, I get it. I do really get it. And I'm afraid of getting sucked into that game, so I'm just taking it like one step at a time with Tomodachi
That's
Life.
probably smart because it got me hard. Like I have 78 hours in less than 20 days, so
Yeah,
that's Persona 4 binging. That's Mass Effect binging. That's Kingdom Hearts binging. So
Yeah.
it's up there. Fucking Christ.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything for me.
What about you, Evan?
I've been playing Watch Dogs and Shovel Knight.
Watch Dogs?
Watch Dogs.
Have you
What
figured
console
out-
do you play that on, by the way?
PS4.
Oh, have you heard what they did to the PC version of it?
No.
Ah, we haven't.
They
talked about that,
unlocked
have
its
we?
magic.
Yeah, apparently it's baller as hell now.
Yeah, they found like secret textures in it that make the game not run like shit.
Well,
or something.
actually, so you know the whole story though, right? It's not much of a story, but yeah, you know what they did to it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
they
with the original shipping.
yeah.
They went ahead, they made the game, and it looked. They made like the play footage look as it did at the E3. That was actually in the game to begin with. When it released, they locked
We
that
right
out. Ubisoft locked that out to. We don't know why, but I'm going to assume that it's to match the console versions.
Maybe, yeah.
But they was still in there.
Mm-hmm.
In all, it was I think 2 or 3 settings that you had to change to go ahead and make it look pretty much just like it did in E3. And it looks really good.
It looks really fucking good. I agree. The rain, just like the rain, like textures and style, looks awesome. Looks so awesome.
How the lighting in the water plays out. A lot of
There's
that
like
stuff.
dust blowing down alleys and shit. Like
Yep.
the real deal.
Yeah.
At E3 it was.
Yeah,
But it is now again, I guess. But
For the PC.
for the
Sorry.
PC, of course.
Sorry,
Evan.
Sorry, Evan.
Of course, Evan had to answer a phone call while he was talking about his games. So this is what I'm going to assume that Evan had to say about Watch Dogs. It's really good. Game of the year.
Hey, that's me.
Well, Evan, if you think all these parts of the game suck, then why do you think it's your game of the year? I don't know. Assassin's Creed 3 was my game of the year. Moving on. Never forget.
Did you at least like remote control exploding thing? No.
No, it was.
All right, we're moving on.
If you're into that.
So wait, you did like the game? Yeah, it was amazing.
Okay, I'm back.
It was
Sorry.
amazing. There we go. Oh wait, he's back.
I'm back. Sorry.
Evan, what do you think? What's happening? What's happening in Watch Dogs?
So
What's
I
happening?
just broke into the into what's his face's compound.
Right, his name is what's his face. We're sticking with it.
I like it.
Bedbug's cousin.
Is it the really old guy? Oh no, yeah, you're farther.
No,
than
not
me.
the old guy. What I broke into what's his Bedbug's cousin's place. Gave Bedbug the wire or whatever. Anyway, Iraq. That's his. I just broke into his.
His name is
How much
Iraq.
money
Iraq.
have you stolen?
A
How much
lot.
money have you stolen from innocent people?
A lot. I don't know off the
I
top
stole
of my
like
head.
fucking $70,000 from people.
But I
or
spent
something
it.
Absurd like that.
I've spent it all.
It's
not all of it.
Porn, man.
I have
That's
100
prawns.
some thousand. So I have 100.
All right.
So
You
Yeah.
Don't have to, you don't have to
I
tell
haven't
me the
been-
exact
I've-
number.
right, I know. Let's see what else. What else am I doing? I got a new. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't really been playing because work, but
Yeah, that's fine. I was just curious if you had gotten any further, which you have. You're further than me now.
yeah.
Still digging it? Still
Yeah.
is it growing on you or
Yeah. I mean,
Falling on
it's
you?
okay. I still don't like the main character, Aiden, but
Yeah, well, he sucks. Sorry,
um,
Jarrett, if you were looking to buy it. Still.
I wasn't.
it's a good game. Just Aiden's just not the best.
He's pretty just bad in general. Alright. Anything else other than Watch Dogs since we've talked about that? We talked about that quite a bit last week.
Shovel Knight, but
Yeah.
we're going to talk about that as a group later.
Mm-hmm. Alright, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
Video games.
I've been taking the summer to reconcile some of my older, long-standing PS3 games.
Like Hearthstone.
Yeah, like Hearthstone. I play Hearthstone every day though. So
Is it one of those games that you play every day, but you don't want to mention anymore because you said it too much? Kind of like
it's
me with
one of
3.
those things you can talk about Hearthstone to people who play it, and pretty much that's it.
yeah.
Because it's a competitive card game. Like unless you want to talk about combos and shit. But I find that talking about it to people who don't give a fuck will sound exactly like you imagine it will sound.
Yep.
It's a card game. I play it all the time.
Yeah. It's a real
But
game.
I finally beat Sleeping Dogs.
Okay.
I got
Yeah.
like 80%.
Clap for the HD remaster.
Jackie, why?
I was Sleeping Dogs has like the weakest ending ever, which is funny because moving up to the ending is awesome. Like the last 30 minutes maybe moving up to the last mission is awesome because everything's starting to come apart. You get tortured. They just beats dude's whole ass, even though he just got his leg drilled 12 hours ago. Doesn't matter, whatever. It's a video game. But
Yep.
at the end of the day, he's still a cop, and he gets the bad guy, which is just a corrupt ass criminal. So he's corrupt 2 other criminals. He's killed that dude. A corrupt Interpol dude who was your boss who was trying to sell you out to them. He gets arrested. You don't die, and no one fucks with you anymore. The Triad knows you're a cop, but they're okay with it, and that's just it.
There
I'm
you
like,
go.
oh,
Wow.
the sun's out, a bird flies by, and you're like, okay, fucking Watch Dogs, or Sleeping Dogs again.
Watch
That's
the Sleeping
funny.
Dogs.
That's funny.
So I was like, I guess that's done. I won a platinum Mass Effect 3. I platinum 2. And I'll go back and buy 1 and platinum that. I played 1 on the Xbox, so there was no crossover or anything like that. But I ran into a fucking disaster at Mass Effect 3 when I realized I missed a mission on Insanity and I can't go back and get it.
Damn.
So
Oh.
I had to replay the game anyway to get your weapon up to level 10, but once I play the game, I have to play the entire game on Insanity again to go find that fucking mission I missed, and then beat it again, because you can't just get that mission and have it ding. You have to have all 21 missions done. So I have to go to Earth and get graped for an hour and a half, again. Because that's where I'm at now. I'm on the second half of Earth where you have to run to the, you get to go through, like, the no man's zone and run through the beam, and that's, like, fucking ridiculous.
Oh, you're at the fucking yeah, Marauder Shields. Fuck that.
Yeah,
shit.
and I'm like, I don't know what to do with you right now. I played the part where you have to wait for the, where Hammer gets shot down and the Banshee comes up from, like, the cliff and all the cannibals run in. I played that
Yeah.
for, like, literally 45 minutes.
Yep.
Just dying.
Yep.
Mm.
I was like, fucking Liara, you're better than this.
No, she's
Banshee
not.
just runs
Yeah,
up
you
and
know
just
it.
rips her head off. I'm like, okay, well, I guess you're dead again.
Yeah, no, that I played through that on hardcore, and it was already more than enough for me. Like, I was set. Thanks. I'm done. Bye.
And Insanity's not super difficult. Just
No, there's no Mass Effect 2.
No, Mass Effect 2 Insanity was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there are parts of this game that are difficult, like fighting pretty much whenever you fight Kai Lang, because he just doesn't take damage the same way he does in Noble. I find it actually easier when you, in the last battle with Kai Lang, that you just run up and melee him most of the time. That actually does more damage.
Yep.
Mm.
That.
And everything that happens in Earth, if there's more than like 10 Reaper forces on the screen and they're not all cannibals, there's something else on the board, you're just fucked.
Yeah. Those fucking Krogan, Turian shits that mix together. Brutes, there you go.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
brutes,
They're
those things are
constantly everywhere.
They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a struggle. Again.
Yep.
I do still want
not
the
that-
platinum, but
Yeah, not that. I mean, not that it was for me, but have you tried the multiplayer? Because, like, I think if you do all the multiplayer on Gold, you can get that thing without having to do all the
tried.
missions again.
the problem I'm finding is not a lot of people are playing it anymore.
Mm.
Yep.
So the frequency of getting real games that are full, that aren't just like 2 or 3 people, is
Right.
relatively slim, and doing gold missions without a full party can be very difficult. Then I stopped really playing the game, so the investment in my gear is still only really halfway. So I don't really have
Right.
great gear. I just kind of made it work until I got better gear. But at this point now, like, I'm not going to be able to wing it with just 2 people. So I figured this is the most straightforward way of doing it. I can do it by myself. It's going to be harder, and I realized like yesterday that it's not going to happen in this playthrough. I have to go back and do it again. That was super pissed. So I don't know that I'll beat the game, and I'm not sure I'll go back to it directly. There's other shit I should probably play, but
Mm.
that I'm slowly working through Persona 4 Golden. It's a slow process for me in Persona 4. Not
Where are you
necessarily
at now?
Persona 4's fault, but I'm in Kenji's bathhouse,
Okay.
where he's secretly super gay, and it's hilarious.
Mm. Good
I
stuff.
like
Yeah.
it's
Kanji's
getting
level
better.
Is one of my favorites.
It's getting better. It's getting funnier.
Okay. We talked previously when just before we did the last spoiler cast. You, me, and Jacob kind of briefly talked about it. I was worried because you said it wasn't quite clicking.
Yeah.
But if
And
it's,
I'm not
if it's,
sure it
if it's
really
building
has
up momentum
yet,
now,
when I get it,
then
I'm starting to
get there.
see it. It'll probably work out. I probably won't be the thing. I'll go back and want to platinum, but it's definitely not something I don't think. I think I've gotten enough of it that I can still enjoy this game. I'm enjoying it now. I'm sure it's only going to get
I think
better.
you will.
But that's kind of it.
It gets.
I mean,
It gets. Just keeps up in the ante. Yeah.
yeah. I think as far as the games are concerned, I played some Steam stuff because the Steam sale's going on. I go find
didn't
shit I
get
don't
anything?
actually need.
Oh, so you just bought a bunch of stuff you didn't get anything. You
Well,
didn't play anything. Yeah.
I've played started playing Monaco again. But other than that, like,
I like
No.
that game.
it's not a whole lot I really need. Before the podcast started, I was going to just install and play KOTOR again, but I mean that's not necessary.
All right.
Yeah. All right, then we'll talk about Shovel Knight in a little bit. I've been playing some video games other than Shovel Knight as well. They patched Disco Zoo all of this waiting, all of this patience that I've been putting into my life has finally paid off in no way at all. They made that game like it went from like fine, like it was good. It was like a silly, stupid thing to just disgusting so fast in one update. That's all it took. Can you guys hear me all right? By the way,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay.
You might be a little bit delayed, but we're good.
Okay. But like literally, they just made that game fucking disgusting. I still love it and I still play it, but they patched it so it's Disco Zoo 1.2 now. They added a new area, which is city animals. You can now rescue city animals because everybody wants rats, squirrels, and pigeons in their disco. And that was already just dumb. But they added like it's like well, your zoo is big enough for like moon missions now, so you can rescue like animals that you don't need any more of, and like prep them for space, right? And then you can send them to Mars, Venus, or Jupiter, or whatever planet, and you get a new type of currency called moon coins, and then you can spend moon coins to moon and do like basically the Disco Zoo rescue stuff on the moon for moon animals, but all this is done with a separate type of currency that you have to.
Why?
That takes a lot longer to build up. So that was already dumb. But on top of that, they buy hats and balls. So you can
And
have them like
balls.
play with your zoo. Like you can have your and like little beach balls that you can have.
Oh,
your
oh,
animals
I
just
get.
bounce.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does
You can
nothing,
buy hats
but you
and
can have
testicles.
you can pick each individual animal, and you can buy hats and testicles, and
Pin one on your favorite. Tell
yeah,
how much you like it.
but all that you can buy with real money. So if you want to spend more real money on it, but like they like throw this at you, like you can buy beach balls for your Disco Zoo animals, and like there's like different tiers of them, and the diamond ball is $1 million, 1 million coins. I'm like, well, I have 16 million coins because I've just been waking up my animals like clockwork for the past 3 months, waiting for you to update this fucking stupid game that I play. But that's my. I had this revelation last night alone, and that's my life.
Disco Zoo.
So, yeah, Disco Zoo. But anyway, I don't want to talk about Disco Zoo ever again. I beat Majora's Mask. I finished that game. You can watch me play videos of it. The last video will go up July 24th, I think, the finale. And I started playing the next Zelda game on the list, Twilight Princess. Majora's Mask is really good, though. I just want to put that out there before I move on. The whole last area of that game, when you're talking to the little kids, real fucking dark.
That whole game's fucking dark.
But Twilight Princess, that game is fucking dark. But like when you're talking to the kids and like the kids are like, "What's the right thing? Like, how do you know if you do the right thing? Is it like, will it make you happy or will it make other people happy? Do you sometimes have to give up your happiness for other people to be happy?" And I'm sitting there like, why are you saying this shit?
Little kids, why are you fucking putting me through this complex right now? I don't know.
Yeah, like I had like an emotional breakdown while playing the end of that game. But yeah, I had the Fierce Deity mask, so it's a fucking final boss is a joke. But
Without it, no fairy sword. Oh, god damn.
the Majora's Wrath section of that boss without Fierce Deity is a bitch, I will say. But yeah, it was cool. I got to talk about it as I played it, and it was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed it. So I started playing. That's a 29 episodes. Is that the way that's broken into? So Um,
29?
29 is total
Wow.
parts for that. They're about 30 minutes to an hour each episode,
Okay.
roughly. Most of them are about 40 minutes long. So I started playing Twilight Princess. None of those have gone up. The first two should be up by the time you hear the audio version of this. I'm going to start releasing them concurrently with Majora's Mask, because that way I'm trying to get this to fill out the YouTube channel for this summer. I don't know how much I'm going to get done by this summer, but my goal is to have all of these out and done by the end of the year, which isn't too hard. That should be relatively easy.
Do you still need the controller?
Yeah, I will for Ocarina of Time and Link to the Past.
Do you still need
Oh,
a
okay.
controller?
Yeah. Do you need just this one? Do you want to build a snowman? I got you, Evan. That was me comprehending it, and I had to say the things out loud so I knew that I was right.
Really, that was me ignoring it because that was a stupid thing for him to do. I love you.
Twilight Princess is a weird fucking game. Do you guys know that? I don't know.
Hey!
Hey!
They do that at the beginning of the games, and you fucking know it, don't you?
They do. I laughed so hard when it happened because I had forgotten. I haven't actually played through Twilight Princess since like 2008, like to the end. So it's kind of weird going back to this one. It's kind of I'd said it is my least favorite 3D Zelda game, but it's growing on me. I like it. It is the only teen-rated Zelda game. It is a very dark game, especially coming like right off of Majora's Mask. Some fucked up shit happens in Twilight Princess too. Let's not forget. Never forget.
Never forget Twilight Princess.
Um,
Always forget Twilight Princess.
Always forget Twilight Princess.
I
like
have.
the one thing that I notice is like Wind Waker feels like so different and separate as a game that came after Ocarina of Time, but Twilight Princess feels very much like a game that came after Ocarina of Time. Because it like revisits that formula, but approaches it in a very different way. But it's been interesting to play through that game again. It's just
So my favorite part in that game is when Link got fangirls, and every time they saw Link, they'd be like, ah! And like little hearts would go up, and they like you can use those hearts to power up your bring up your health, which is dumb, but it's so funny.
yeah, that is a very very good part. I'm almost at the first time that can happen. So the little claw shot mini game. It is. That is a good game though. It is not as bad as I remember, I think. But it is definitely, it has a lot of issues. Like I just got
What's the best part in that game? Was it the snow level, or was it that drilling up the wall fighting that boss? I think the snow level was my favorite part in that game. Maybe
I was gonna say like the ice temple, the Yeti's house is a really good dungeon.
but I do like that boss battle with that drill. You like go against the wall. That's probably like the most inventive boss battle. in
Yeah,
that
the giant Skulltula dude.
Yeah.
I really am a big fan of the Goron mines in that game and the way that game consistently uses the iron boots in a really, really interesting way.
I don't even remember that part.
Like, it uses the iron boots with giant magnets, and has you kind of, like, hip-hopping around and sticking to walls, which is really cool. And they do a lot of cool stuff with it. Plus, it is a 3D Zelda game without with a water dungeon that doesn't suck, which is an accomplishment.
And you're playing the Wii one, right? Not the GameCube one. Okay.
Yeah. I've never played the GameCube one. I've seen some. My friend Chris played it, and the fact that
was so weird.
it's weird because everything in that game's mirrored in the GameCube version, or it's mirrored in the Wii version, however you want to look at it. It's fucking it fucks me up every time I look at it. Like, oh no, why are you going to the right here? No, it's like playing the mirror tracks in Mario Kart. It fucks you up forever. Fucks you for life.
Fucks you up forever.
But yeah, Twilight Princess is good. Those videos are going to start coming out on Monday the 30th? Yeah. Monday's the 30th, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, look forward to that. More Alex Plays Zelda. I played some Tomodachi Life. I don't really have any good stories. No one's talking to anybody. I'm trying to get them to at least like make friends with anyone.
It's like the last episodes of The Real World where people just hate each other.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no one hates each other. Just no one wants to talk to anyone. They all want to talk to Alex's lookalike, which is me. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you guys. Talk to each other. Make friends. Be nice to each other. Weird thing, one of the 3 relationships that has budded out, like me, my character, my little me, me, he wanted to become friends with Damien, and then Ethan, and then Yosuke. And I'm like, this is perfect. Like, this all worked out exactly how it should. And then Samus and Chie are best friends, and I think it's adorable.
Aww.
But yeah, it's been fun. I still enjoy that game. One time Samus said, "Look inside my head," and then she was thinking about space, and I'm like, and she's like, "That's what I've been thinking about all day." I'm like, "That's really cool." And then Junpei invited Yosuke up onto the roof, and he was wearing a fake mustache and glasses, and said, "You would look really good in a disguise." And then
Just laying it
Yosuke
down for the ladies.
walked away, and it was weird because they're like the same character in Persona 3 and 4, or at least they serve a similar purpose. They're very different characters.
That's pretty.
But yeah, you look pretty good in disguise. But let's talk about Shovel Knight. We've all been playing Shovel Knight. Well, everyone but Scott, because it's fucking Scott.
God damn it.
So, Evan, you as a Kickstarter backer actually got a nice surprise on Wednesday when they sent out the Shovel Knight codes a day early, which was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have it on the Steams. Jared and I have it on Steam, and Nabish and you have it on 3DS. So what do you think of it, Evan? As a Kickstarter backer, do you feel vindicated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
Go on. Discuss.
I'm glad they released it early, because, I wanted to play it. I really wanted to play it.
Okay. So what do you think of it? How far are you?
Not very far. I'm Plague Knight, I think, the one on the bottom, like when you first enter the map scene, right?
Yeah, the world map.
The world map. It's the one on the bottom.
Spectre
Knight.
Spectre Knight, yeah. That guy.
Motherfucker. He was the first one I had trouble with.
I'm having trouble with him.
Although King Knight, I fucking destroyed.
Why?
Was it just me? I was going to ask, is it just me that thought King Knight was a goddamn pushover? Like, he just demolished him?
Well, he prances around and throws a scepter around and attacks you with confetti, so... I
literally bounced on his head and never stopped bouncing on his head till he died.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even trying.
I think Spectre Knight, or not Spectre Knight, King Knight should have been one of the last ones.
Just, like, as a nice relief. Well, like, when they were demoing the game, when they announced it at PAX East 2013, the demo they had was King Knight's level. So it's kind of like the easiest level, I thought. Kind of the introductory stage.
With the sickest music.
With the sickest music. Oh my god, that soundtrack is free right now. If you do not have it...
Is it free?
Yeah, here. Alright, well, it's pay what you want. I will send you a link right now. Yeah, I downloaded it. That's some hot music right there.
It's a hot mix.
It's a hot mix, man. I forgot who did the soundtrack for it, but they're fucking MLG Pro. What do you think of it, Jarrett? Have you where are you at in it?
I'm finished.
Okay.
Seriously?
83% items. I was super pissed because there's like 4 music sheets I missed. I have no idea where they are. I have to go fish through everything probably.
Yeah, I got 73% items or something.
But I like it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think the music's strong. Like, I like Spectre Knight's
music's really strong
level because it reminds me a lot of Phantasy Star. In fact, there's a lot of like Phantasy Star sort of music going on in that game that like brought me back.
Which one were you a fan of?
The soundtracks or the
Phantasy Star.
1 through 4.
1 through 4.
When they go online, they got a little too much for me. Like, I played the Dreamcast one. Like, I played the shit of the Dreamcast one.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, that's where I started. and like I was like, this one's good. Somehow I ran into a copy of another one. I'm like, this one's not good. And then I was.
Well,
Probably
they were all turn-based RPGs, like traditional console Japanese RPGs before they were MMOs in any way. And they were the Genesis's really only standout JRPG, because that's not what that console was known for.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, but I think the game has a really weird sense of story too, a really weird narrative that's actually cohesive, and I actually didn't hate.
I would
somewhat
really like
fit.
the story in the game, like, weirdly enough, by the end of it.
Right, by the end of it, it's kind of like, wow, this did happen, and I get it, and it's actually pretty neat. It's not difficult to see coming, and it's not all that groundbreaking of a story, but they tell it so subtly.
Yeah.
They kind of hide it behind all the pomp of the old school sort of heroic ruggeditio, where you just kind of go be, noble and shit. But they sprinkle in these weird narrative like hooks with like Black Knight and all those other guys to really change your opinion on the complexity of the relationships between Shovel Knight and some of the other people there.
It's really good. Like I walked away from it being like, but with that ending shot that they kind of put out there, I was like, wow. Like, hey, this is actually really well done, and I'm really happy with this.
It also has a very noticeable sense of progression and difficulty. Like, I didn't really have a problem, but like, you die a couple times, it's whatever, but I didn't have a problem with the game until like the last group of knights and like the last bosses. Not so much the last dungeon, but the last bosses just beat my whole ass.
Yeah, I was surprised that like I didn't need the health potions for that final boss. That was pretty tough. The fucking the Snow Knight, Ice Knight, or whatever.
It's named Frost Knight, I think.
Frost Knight.
With the snow shovel.
With the snow shovel.
I thought was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he kicked my ass like holy shit. That one was tough. That one was very clutch. At the very end, I had like half health left, and I pulled through. But yeah, it's really good. Like I like all the references. I've been reading a lot of reviews since like my review was like done on Sunday, so I didn't really have to think about it. And like it was edited, and I had it ready to post by Tuesday night, and I was just kind of at that point. And it's, like the review, the GameSpot review that you put me or signaled me to read, Jared. That Polygon was really good as well. It's fun kind of reading. Like I think everybody made kind of different references in their reviews to different old school games. And like Colin Moriarty, for example, dropped a fucking Faxanadu reference, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I
So
was
good.
listening to his video review, and I was like, did this motherfucker really just say Xanadu?
Yeah,
He's
right?
just a fucking encyclopedia of bullshit, and I find it like excellent.
Yeah, I was so happy when he dropped that. So, and it's like, yeah, there's like a little bit of Castlevania, there's a little bit of Mega Man, there's a little bit of Faxanadu,
Some DuckTales, like
some DuckTales, Mario 3.
it's all over the place.
Thank you. Where are you in it, Nabishin?
I'm not that far because it's on a 3DS, and I was playing Tomodachi Life every time I touched my 3DS, so I didn't get too far. But I think I just got finished buying Plague Knight, the one that had like chemicals all over it. Like when you fly him, he like threw bombs. They had chemicals everywhere. You shoot those bombs and chemicals, whole explosion.
Yeah, that's a cool fight.
Yeah. Yeah, you know where I'm at where you're close to the second town you can go into. That's where I'm at. That's as far as I got so far. But yeah, I think the game was great though. And I guess what I really take from it is because like at least for me at least, that it's a game that just works, and it's really good for what it does where it works. Because like I don't know about you guys, but like I'm so sick to death of of like 8-bit games now, or at least the aesthetic of 8-bit. I give it's fine, but just like seeing it that way though, it's like it's been done to death. I'm tired of seeing that. Like I would rather see like HD graphics on not like a whole 3D model, but like like an HD draw like a way forward looking type of game where like it's like actually like showing how good your game looks. I mean, pixel art is great, but I want to see like some like it seems like it's so rare to see just like in an HD sprite looking game now. That's like the rare thing now instead of like an 8-bit game. But like besides all of that, yeah, that game is fantastic for what it is and what it does. I had so much fun playing it and just like going through it. And I think it's like the right level of hard for me because it's not like it never gets cheap.
Mm-hmm.
And then it seems like the right level of fair that like when you die like all your money like some of your money's right there, so you're kind of like in a Dark Souls type of way, you have to pick souls or whatever, but like your money's there and you try to go right back to get to there to the place you were and like try to like get your money back at the same time so you can like spend it at the shop where you when you spend it at, but also like try to advance the level at the same time. So like it's fun. It's just a good level of fun that I seriously enjoy. I would rather play on my Wii U though. Like I'm planning to just to buy it again to support them to because they gave me the review code, but also because I don't like playing it on the 3DS as far as like using like the circle pad on that. It's not really that great for a platformer, or at least for me. Like it's good for like a Mario. Like it's good like for a 3D platformer. It's not good for like a 2D platformer. And yes, it has a D-pad there, but like I don't know, it feels uncomfortable using that with a 3DS. Or maybe I need a 3DS XL for that to actually be beneficial to me. It's like a man hand instead of a baby hand. So
The XL does help in that regard, I'll say.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'll plan to get it on the Wii U, rebuying it on the Wii U. So yeah, that'll be where I'll be playing that.
Yeah, I plan to as well at some point. There's some pretty cool Street Pass features on the 3DS version though as well.
Oh yeah, and it looks awesome in 3D on 3DS. Too. It looks really really good.
Yeah, it's just like that. It's hard to kind of like make an 8-bit or 16-bit game modern, like a modern version of that, because you're gonna make it HD or you're gonna make it widescreen or whatever, and that'll just kind of change the playing field. But it's really hard for people to nail those controls. I've found, but they nailed it. It's a very tight playing game. It's very polished. It feels very polished. It just plays super well. I like the gameplay is God type mentality works out really well here. In that, like, it just plays so well that regardless of how you feel about the aesthetic or the story or whatever problems you might have with it, the fact that it plays as well as it does may help you kind of overlook that.
I think Navish makes a good point, though, with his somewhat jaded look on the 8-bit sort of indie old-school revolution. A lot of these games get swept up in the same sort of assumptions because of the way they look. And that's mostly because these games have lacked the ability to catch the same sort of nostalgia. We are super excited about the way it looks because it reminds us of games that we used to play, and that kind of carries our hype through most of the game. But this is a really good example of where this game stands on its own, really.
Yeah.
And I have, in my Steam library, I have plenty of 8-bit games that look like old-ass games. Like Tiny Barbarian DX, I have Risk of Rain that looks like an old-ass game, Samurai Gun and all those guys. And they look like it, but they don't nail it. They don't feel like it.
Yep.
It's not like when you pick the controller up, you actually feel like the time you played, DuckTales, or the time you were playing Castlevania. And this is a game that does that. And a game that does it in such a language, such a modern sort of agency that it almost doesn't feel like it's archaic or super contrived. It feels super normal. It's something that a person who doesn't want to play old games like they were before or doesn't want to be just simply carried on the fact that it looks like these old games, these people could really appreciate how well this game plays. But it's going to be hard to get this game into those hands because they're going to be put off immediately by the way it looks and by the way it sounds. Like I'm super surprised. Like I told you a couple days ago, I'm surprised I liked the soundtrack because a lot of these chiptune soundtracks kind of sound the same. And if you like any of them, you probably like all of them. But this soundtrack sort of encompasses the spirit of old 8-bit soundtracks because they were doing it because they couldn't put real instruments in like these little motherboards because it's impossible. They didn't have the memory, but they would pretend they had these instruments with their chips. And this kind of takes that same spirit. Like these are very big, complicated sort of arrangements happening in some of these songs, and they still find a way to be moving and motivating and memorable in both the way that it sounds like games that had to do it because they had no choice, but it also sounds like a very new interpretation of this really old way of doing this music, and that's a notable difference that only people who have played and been disappointed by games like it will really appreciate when they play this game. It's just how do you get them to do that?
Yeah, very much so. Like I've played many a game that has stylized itself, and I say this in my review. Like there are a lot of games that say they're like a modern SNES or modern NES game, or NES or SNES if you prefer. And this one is real. This one's legit as shit. Like it is that, like, because it feels like there was care kind of and time put into everything, like not just the soundtrack and not just the controls, but the way it looks, the way when you load into a level, you have to wait for the full level to load before the enemies will load in, and just the way it moves, and it's just once you put your hands on this game and look at it, and if you've played any of those classic games like Castlevania or like DuckTales, you will know instantly, like, this is one of those, not just in spirit, but actually, it is one of those. And that's really cool, I think.
It's a weird comparison to say, but, like, you could even say it's, like, kind of like Deadly Premonition, how that's, like, it's something, like, from like, an old time just like brought to the modern age.
Like,
and,
Deadly Premonition is a fucking PS2 game brought to life in the modern age. In perfectly. It is done with care and maybe on purpose, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe. I honestly could go either way. But regardless, when you play it, you can appreciate it. If you liked those kinds of games, you can appreciate what it stands for. And I think that's really cool. That is a good comparison, weirdly enough.
Take that, Colin Moriarty.
Yeah, Feck Xanadu. It's a really good game. It may be my favorite thing that I've played in 2014 so far. I don't know. It's that good, and I had zero complaints with it when I played it. Like I had too much fun with it. But yeah, I think you should check it out. Right now it's on Wii U, 3DS, and Steam's the PC, and you can also buy it on GOG. DRM free. So if you would like,
fucking so GOG, silly ass idea.
Yeah. Oh, GOG. I hate the people that say GOG. They make me sick. All right, I think we're gonna take a quick break unless anybody has anything to add about Shovel Knight.
Nope.
Just
Nope.
thinking about it.
No.
Okay, fine.
Just thinking about it, but why do you think a game like Shovel Knight is just for the Wii U and 3DS? Is it just for the nostalgia purposes, or like, hey, it's from we're trying to make Nintendo type of game, so this is we're putting it on a Nintendo system, or
well, I mean,
or do you think it's actually good deals that Nintendo does actually require for them?
So I'm lucky enough to have talked to people from Yacht Club, and hopefully we will actually be talking to them on the show soon. Just kind of discuss Shovel Knight. But like I talked to Ian from Yacht Club Games, and I'm not really sure what his. I think he was producer on Shovel Knight. But I said like, why did you? Because it was right after they announced it, and they said their stretch goals were 3DS and Wii U specifically. And I said, well, why'd you go through Nintendo? And they're like, well, Nintendo has like a really good indie program that they've kind of adopted with us, and they're helping us out in a really good, helpful way that's not too intrusive, and they're kind of like letting us do what we want. And I think it's just like that. Like they approached Nintendo because it seemed like at the time they were easier to kind of get in with. Because like PS4 is now like very approachable, but that was before PS4 came out.
Right.
And Microsoft has a lot of BS surrounding it that hopefully is going to change in the near future. And it seemed like Nintendo was just like very accommodating to them. So
I guess it's just now just showing now because that game's been in development for a while. So I guess their indie program is just now showing as far as them being lenient as far as video games now.
This is very much like the first thing that I can really think of where like Nintendo is on point with curating and helping an indie developer in a big way, and now they're console exclusive to their platforms at least. Because like that happened with Transistor with PS4, and that was cool. But we've never really seen it with Nintendo before. There's plenty of summer arcade games of the past, but yeah, it's a cool thing. It is a cool thing. All right, then we're gonna take a quick break, and we have some news to talk about. Some, not much, but then we'll be back after that with some emails and voicemails. So we will be back in just a little bit, guys.
Choo.
I was gonna ask you guys. I said next Wednesday. I asked Yacht Club Games if they could do some interview stuff then, and they said they could do that. But I'd like to know.
Upcoming Wednesday?
Yeah, next Wednesday. Yeah, July 2nd.
I should be able to. Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to or not because I don't know my work schedule.
Okay, let me know as soon as possible, and then I'm going to email them with a time once we know that. But just don't forget.
Yeah, time's going to be the main issue here.
Yeah.
If it's anywhere past, I want to say 7 p.m., I'm good. Earlier than that, I'm going to have to see what's going on.
See, they're on the West Coast, I believe, so we could do it at like 4 their time, which would be 7 our time. So we could work something out like that. But yeah, let me know, Evan.
Okay. 7 here would be 10 over there, and that would not go so well.
And we'll think of some just start thinking of some good questions, and then maybe I'll make like a Google Doc for that.
That means you're gonna make me buy it and play it, huh?
No.
You should, I'll say.
Yeah, you should, but
just tell Will that Shovel Knight is out, and he'll be like, "Oh, I should buy that game," and then you can play it.
Yeah, that's right. For some reason, Steam Share has been off for a while.
Yeah,
you should get that
set
back
it up
going.
again. Yeah. I'm gonna go get another beer. I'll be back momentarily.
I'm gonna go steal a couple of his games, and I'm gonna start playing them.
No other news here. Just ask one more time, I guess.
No, you good.
I'm so excited for Last of Us Remastered. I don't know about you, Jared. I don't know if you're gonna pick that up.
I'm going back and forth whether I want to pick it up again or not. I mean, I feel like 60 frames per second at 1080p is going to really change the experience for me, probably.
Yeah.
That I ain't playing anything else on my PS4.
Yeah, like that's kind of my thing. Like
Show no.
I'm doing.
I mean, I still haven't bought Transistor yet. That's still gonna happen.
I have Transistor. I've booted up once, and then my PS4 freaked out and crashed, and then I stopped playing it.
I do hate
Yeah,
though
no,
that I
they told me that too, like.
Strider like a month ago, and it's gonna be free next month. I was like,
Oh,
God,
it's gonna be
fucking
free.
damn it!
Thank
Yes.
God I
Yep.
waited.
That game's real good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
If you ever played a Strider in your life, this is gonna be pretty much awesome for you.
I've never played a Strider in my life.
So I guess this will depend on how you feel about games like this.
I love Metroidvania. Metroid's.
What's funny, I like Strider for the same reasons I hate Sonic.
That's awesome. What would those reasons be, please?
My problem with Sonic is that Sonic is like the anti.
Is it because you're too slow?
No, it's just like you're supposed to get from one end of the level to the other, and as like quickly a rapid period as possible, and it leaves no real time to do any platforming. You kind of
So it's
just
pretty
run
much the momentum.
real
Like
fast.
I mean, the momentum for like a Sonic game, like, cause that's the thing what I like about Sonic game. Like when I have that momentum, it's like the greatest feeling ever. But like when I get hit or something just stops me, I'm just like, fuck. It's like the
And
worst
now,
feeling
and now
ever.
you're left to actually like platform, and you're like, well, this actually isn't great because even
Yeah.
Sonic wants to go faster than what he's doing right now, and I can't help him out.
I'm just trying to help a brother out with this, please.
Like Sonic Adventure was different because there was real platforming going on, and I was like, I can be okay with this game. But like the 2D Sonics, even the remake ones a couple years ago, I can't get into it. But that works for Strider. Moving as like quickly as possible. Like there are plenty of screens where you're just running, pushing the square button, and just killing everything in front of you because it doesn't really matter what they're gonna do because they can't do shit. But then there's also the converse where there are rooms where there are different types of enemies that can only be effective with different types of attacks, so it kind of changes your angle. But the momentum in Strider is all about like being super stylishly from one end of the screen to the other.
Yep.
And I think that idea complements the entire sort of package of Strider in its combat and in its sort of platforming elements more than it does Sonic. Especially in the time, like Sonic and Mario couldn't have been more different games. So it was funny that there was ever really competition. A, they're on different consoles, but B, they were completely different in ideology and in design, which is funny that they're now pretty much ubiquitous with one another.
Yeah, that's interesting. It makes a lot of sense, though. I totally agree with you on all those parts. Like, I used to like Sonic. I just can't really do it anymore. Just can't.
I like Sonic.
I know.
Not modern Sonic, but I like Sonic.
Yeah.
You know who no one should like? Tails.
Fuck you. Tails was always my favorite character, and I get that I was a stupid little kid. Like, don't get me wrong, Tails is a piece of shit, but
Tails should be in Super Smash Brothers.
Tails he could fight Pac-Man.
Yeah, so should Shadow.
Yeah, all right.
Psych.
Shadow is an
No.
unredeemable piece.
Shadow
of shit.
should be burned from existence.
Yeah.
There's a way to like go back in time, like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Terminator, and just kill the dude who gave him Shadow before it ever happened.
We got.
I'm doing it.
back.
In that
doing it.
fucking game, Shadow the Hedgehog, I played that shit.
He had
Oh,
fucking.
he said, damn, oh man, this is edgy.
Oh shit!
This like I've never seen a worse design for a character.
Yeah,
Until they, like-
he's literally just a black Sonic.
He's a
Like,
black Sonic with fucking Jordans that glow and are skates, and like Jenko jeans that like sag a little bit, and Sonic the Hedgehog, he just moves really fast, so it's okay that he can just spin into things and kill them. But Shadow's not going out like no bitch. He has to stay strapped at all times. So he's dual wielding pistols and cannons and shotguns and shit. And what is
Shadow
what
don't
like
give
the
a
weird
fuck.
Sonic, like when they cross over him into like the real world, where it's not just him hanging out with other animal creatures, it's him hanging out with human beings. Like,
Oh,
I'm
Sonic,
back.
yeah.
It's
what are we
yet.
doing?
We're just talking about how shitty a character Shadow is.
Ah, yeah, he's real bad.
When he's like, well, Thomas was the police, and I'm like, well, why are you a hedgehog shooting things at like human beings right now?
Yeah, well, and
I don't
Sonic
Real
went out with a
talk,
human
real
girl,
talk.
though.
The only good episode of Sonic X is the first episode. There's no other good episode except that first episode, and I'll tell you why.
Okay,
When
all
he
right.
went, like when that show started out, like it was like him going against Eggman at the time, so like that was cool as shit. And then like when he went to the actual human world and shit like that, like the only thing that happened in that episode was him racing against like race car drivers. Like for some reason they have this police force that are like F1 racers. So like I don't know, that's a dumb thing in itself. But like it was showing like how fast Sonic was, because like Sonic was like going past them. This like the F1s are like doing like however fast they're going at the time, and like Sonic was just like saying fuck it the entire time, and like he was like oh, I'm going as fast as I can. There's no one can go faster than me. Like, oh my god! And Sonic was running backwards, just looking at him like fuck you. And then that episode is so good, and then like it got kind of gay at the end. But like other than that,
But then it got like kind of gay at the end. Can we use that as a title?
Man,
sure.
But
Like he ran off like Sonic went so fast he ran off a bridge. Then he went to the water. Then Chris went and saved him. He got him out the water, and then they had this little like moment and looking at each other. It was kind of
It was one of those cartoon moments where they looked into each other's eyes for like way too long. You're like, if this is in
exactly.
real life,
like every episode of Dragon Ball Z.
you're like every episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Where I'm like, Vegeta, why don't you just kiss Goku and get it over with?
I'm like, why don't you guys just fuck the shit out of each other and get this sexual tension off your
Right.
back?
I know you got children or whatever, but I mean, they'll get it. They'll understand. Can you imagine like Gotenks when he like finally gets fused and he's Super Saiyan 3? He's like, I'm gonna fuck Boo up, but him and like his Goten and like Gohan are having a fucking issue, like trying to wrap their heads around the fact that their fathers are Vegeta and Goku, who left their wives. How can you defend like Earth with that kind of shit going on at home?
Just the way you said, like, I know you got families and shit, but they'll get it.
So what are you gonna do? Be like, Dad, listen, this is probably a bad idea. And he's like, motherfucker, I'm Goku. Do you understand what I've done for the past like 3 or 4 years?
Dude, I've earned this. I want to be happy. I
You know that
deserve
giant
this.
gay space alien that was like killing green people on a different planet? I whooped his whole ass.
His whole ass.
This is the reason you exist.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful.
Anyway, news, right, guys?
That's news.
All right, let's. Okay. Woo! I'm warmed up now. News in gaming. Let's talk about some news, guys.
Why are you laughing, Alex?
I don't. No reason. You should watch the video version of this to catch all of the magic. So, The Last of Us Remastered for the PlayStation 4 Entertainment Home Console will be $50. Yay! Not $60. So, oh god, I just like inhaled my spit. I'm sorry. They'd announced this at like basically $60. You could pre-order it, pre-purchase it on the PlayStation Network for $60, and then they dropped the price to $50 recently. And then people were like, "Hey, I already spent $60 on this on the PlayStation Store. Give me my $10 back." And then they were like, "Nah." And then they're like, "Okay." That was it. That's the
Well,
story,
then they were
right?
like, all right, we'll do it. Just this once, though.
We'll do it just this once, though. Stop complaining. So there you go. I'm surprised it's not full
Yeah, so-
price.
I am too, but like people make enough of a stink about it because it's like, oh, I bought this game, so like you want to do like this upgrade program, right? Because that was a one-time thing they're going to do and never do again. Because
Yep.
that's exactly what it was.
Because that's
But,
how you make hardware. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, you should do the upgrade program. And like, we'll think about it. So it was like, yeah, we'll just fucking drop the price. So you can just stop saying anything. I think the bigger question is what's a $60 game these days? Like, what's worth a $60 purchase? Because like, I was listening to a couple of podcasts and like they were talking about like Little Big Planet 3 coming out. And I was like, oh yeah, that game. Yeah, that game's coming out. Yeah, that's cool, but like, I wouldn't pay $60 for that. I'll pay like $40 or something like that. That should be a $60 game. Um, I don't necessarily disagree. I know it's not going to be. I mean, I know it is going to be $60, but I don't necessarily disagree with that. But like, I'm pretty much done with that game myself. But like, what would you think is like what's something a game has to have to be $60 these days for
I don't know
for
why
modern people to work it?
3 wouldn't be a $60 game, considering it's not much different than 2 and 1, and they're both $60 games. I think there's definitely a bar of production value that demands $60, even if it doesn't really demand $60 economically. It demands $60 as far as keeping a very distinct line between $60 AAA games and everybody else. And like, you know what? No game probably needs to be a $60 game. And you could probably, when you see Fallout 4 next year, when it's $40, that's probably what the game should be cost, because you'll notice in third-party games there's always like an ebb and flow of when these games get like marked down immediately, and they'll stay at that price for its longest period of time. But it only stays $60 for like 6 months.
Like
The price it is after that is what it probably should be.
Like PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale, 1 week
Exactly.
after launch, it was $40 on PlayStation Network to download, and that probably the more appropriate, price. But there will be people that buy it on day one for $60. That's always enough people to sell it at $60 right out the gate. Like, the reality is, it's just $20 more every purchase.
But like, another thing I was thinking about, like, you think like a game like I think you said this, Alex, for like Titanfall, you said that probably shouldn't have been like $60 just because how quote unquote bare bones that kind of game. Yeah, and like even like Evolve that's coming out later on this year, isn't that like kind of an issue as well? Because it's like pretty much a co-op game. Alex, are you there? Okay.
Oh, can you guys hear me? Sorry.
You cut out for a decent chunk of time, but yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, repeat yourself, please.
Titanfall, the thing is I agree that it probably shouldn't have been a $60 game, but like, they have really, really supported that game like super well. Like, they patched in new game modes for free. They patched in private matches for free. They patched in insignias that you can customize and create on your Titans for free. They patched in new burn cards for free, and I think a lot of the features that were kind of lacking in that game at launch are there now, completely for free, just from patches that they've been doing. Like, they've 100% done right by that game, and it is very worth $60 now at least. And I think the idea that they patched all this stuff in for free restores my faith that that is a $60 game. The production is there, and so like that. Yeah, it was worth it. Like, it is worth that price of entry because of how well they've supported it, and that's not always the case. But what was the other
case?
Evolve was it's almost never the case. You're right, Scott. Evolve is the other one. Like, I don't know how many maps there are involved. There are 3 monsters and 8 human characters, at least 8 human characters that they've announced so far.
Is there even a story for that game yet, or even like any mode besides the 4 versus 1? That's what I'm curious about. I don't know.
Zach and Jacob talked to somebody from Turtle Rock, and like they made it sound like there will be some kind of campaign to it, not necessarily story or single player, definitely not single player, but maybe there will be something like Left 4 Dead. I don't know. Like, that's a good question. I don't know how you would work a story into that game. So we'll see. But like, that game looks like a lot of fun if like you really like playing games with your friends, and you like playing shooters with your friends, and you like playing cooperative shooters. Like, I think that game will 100% be worth $60. Like, it plays really well. It's super polished. It's super fun. Like, it is actually just super fun. Like, the moment-to-moment stuff in that game is intense and rewarding. So I think if like that's your cup of tea, it'll be worth it. But like, putting a $60 label on any game is difficult now because there are so many different types of people playing games. Like, to me, I'd pay $60 for Persona 4 Golden or Persona 5 for PS3 any day, but, like, I know a lot of people that wouldn't because they'll play the first 15 hours of that game and be like, this is too much for me, and stop. And, like, that should have been, like, a $40, $30 game. And I get that, and, you know, different strokes for different folks, I suppose, but that is a tough question to answer, I think.
So I think a $60 game has a very distinct, at least look. Maybe not feel, because that involves the way the game's designed and how good it is to play, I guess. But a $60 game is a game like First Son, or Second Son, sorry, or the Killzone Shadowfall. Like these games look like big deals.
Mm-hmm.
When The Last of Us came out, that was a $60 game. That looked like a $60 game.
Yeah,
that was going to be the console quote unquote experience. And I think that line will always be easy to find. Like, you'll always be able to know that Call of Duty is going to be $60. It's going to look like $60.
Yeah.
Whether you're jaded or not, and on an individual basis, that might be something like that. Because I probably wouldn't play, for example, Blacklight. That's a good-looking first-person shooter that just visually looks like a $60 game, but isn't a game I would pay $60 for. And luckily, it's free to play, so you don't have to. But what it really lacks is like that real feature-full feeling of a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people end up marking like games down when they feel bare bones, because this should be a full game and it's not. For example, when EA ported Madden to the 360 that first year, the 360 was out, and they pretty much had a game mode that was like play an exhibition match, play kind of like a career mode, and that's it. But they charge you $60 for that.
Yeah.
And people were really upset because it's not the $60 experience. It might look like it, but it's not a whole game.
Yeah, and like a game that comes to mind when you tell me about like a game that looks like a $60 game. Weirdly enough, for me, it's Tomb Raider. Like that game was super polished and super well made, and maybe not a lot of people loved it. I loved it. Option loved it. Maybe we liked it for specific reasons, like it played super well. I liked the story. I thought it was dumb and ridiculous and reminded me of the reasons why I like the ridiculousness of Uncharted supernatural aspects. And that didn't do it for everybody, I get that. But I think, like, when I think Tomb Raider, I think, like, that is, the level of polish in that game is kind of like the dividing line between the not $60 game and the $60 game. Because it's just really well made. It is a well-made game.
And I think for the time being, so long as big studios remain the giant studios they are, and everybody else remains relatively small in comparison, there'll still be that very noticeable dividing line. And if you really want to notice, because all a game looks like, you can go into a GameStop and look at all the standees.
Yeah.
There's a dude in at a cardboard, exoskeleton with a gun. That's probably Call of Duty. It's probably a $60 game. The advertisement alone can sometimes determine exactly how big a game is.
What makes me happy is stuff like Sony's PSN standees in GameStops now. Like, you'll see Towerfall or Transistor on them, and like they wouldn't get that kind of attention before. Whether it just be like a stupid standee that only half people will pay attention to or not, that's a really cool thing. Like, Towerfall is a great fun game that people should know about, but they don't because it's a $15 downloadable game.
Right.
Yeah. And like let's close out. Like you won't see like there's certain games that used to be $60 that they just won't be like that anymore. It's like Hooper and Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank is not going to be a $60 game anymore. That was probably a mistake to come out at $60 because of that, because like it's a platformer, and no one really plays those that much, or a 3D platformer, I should say. But like it was like the new hot. They were trying to set it up to be that when arguably it probably wasn't, because most people didn't really like that game for what it was. But I don't know. It's just like I just feel like I mean personally I don't gauge fun I should say I don't gauge my money by I'm fucking it. I mean to say like I like as far as when I get a game, like because like I buy these weird shit. Like I buy these like Resident Heaven Fever or something like that, and like as much fun as I had that for that game with that game, like I would pay that $60, but that's just me. I'm one person. Like, but like if you talk to someone like I don't know, like my best friend Mark or like even my nephew, like
Or me.
Or Scott.
or
Or
Scott,
me.
it's a matter of like as far as what $60 worth, does that mean you always have to have multiplayer? Does that mean you always have to have co-op? Does it mean you always have to have at least a decent full budget single player for that just to make that a $60 game now? Is just like what's the standard for that now? Or it's probably pretty much obvious what the standard is for that right now. So
Yeah.
I think it is, and I think you also have to keep in mind, like, there are games, for example, I won't play. I won't even buy at $60, but there are games that when those games are cheaper, I'll buy it. Like Castlevania Lords of Shadow, I bought for like $15. That's a $15. That's a game I'll buy and enjoy for $15. I was looking at Cursed Crusade, which I played the demo of and thought this would be really cool to kind of just play, but I'm not spending $60 on it. It's still $20. I'm not spending $20 on it. But that's a game I would like to play, but I don't think financially the money justifies the investment. And I think as a consumer, at least, that's something that's very important. Maybe as a critic, not so much, but as a consumer, that's most important to me, I think. In a sense, like there are games that I'll pay whatever they ask me for, but there are games I definitely won't pay full price for.
Yeah, and I like to, you say you don't kind of gauge the experience by fun. And I think
I said they were wrong, but yes.
Yeah, I got you. I genuinely think that enjoyment of the experience, whether that be fun or like for a survival horror game, like just how engrossed you are in that, I think that's really important to what I pay $60 for. Like, if a game has multiplayer, co-op, single-player campaign, blah blah blah, I don't give a shit. Is a single-player campaign worth the 8 hours I put into it? Is the multiplayer worth even looking at? And is it something I actually want to play with my friends? Like, those are things that I look at. Like, Persona, I would much rather pay $60 for Persona, $60 for The Last of Us, $60 for these great single-player games and never look at any kind of multiplayer, because that's the kind of person I am. I like to play solitary experiences where I can get attached to the characters, or become one of the characters, or get engrossed in the story, and walk away from it with, like, just thinking about it. And that's kind of like, that's the appeal to me.
Right.
And, I think that's a very specific thing, but just to put it out there. Yeah, it's a tough question. It's something that's changing every day now, I think. But we can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Legend of Korra is getting a video game done by Platinum Games. Which, like, normally,
Yay.
Legend of Korra is getting a video game. Who gives a shit? It's going to be a shitty license game. But, like, wait, no, Platinum Games is making it? Like, what?
Platinum Games are breaking my goddamn heart. Putting all these games on every console I don't own.
Yeah, this is coming to 3DS?
3DS
What?
and Wii U, I think, isn't it?
Wait, what? No, this is coming to PS3, PS4, Xbox One, and Xbox 360 as a download.
Really? I didn't know that. I thought that was only a limited release on Nintendo consoles.
No.
There was
it's not even coming to the Wii U as far as I know.
There's direct mention of, like, a 3DS version, though. I know that. Like, that's the only thing that popped out to me.
Yeah. There's going to be like some from some other studio doing that one, but as far as like what's
Maybe that's what I read.
actually about.
Maybe there was another studio doing this 3DS one, and then there wasn't mention of the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't even know anything about Legend of Korra. I'm going to play the shit out of that.
Yeah. Well, then you'll play the shit out of it while listening to us talk about Korra. Like, this is such a weird thing. Like, I want to know, like, how this came about. It's so odd.
Is this going to start a string of movies and TV shows to games that
don't
are
suck?
good?
Maybe. Like,
Going to
No,
real
no,
high
no.
quality developers.
There are some that break the line of don't explicitly suck.
yeah, like Spider-Man 2, for example. That's everyone's go-to. Spider-Man 2
It's
doesn't
like,
suck.
they're few,
Mhm.
but there are even fewer that break the line of good.
Yeah,
Mm.
I agree. But like people played this and they're like, yeah, it's really fun. Like,
Yeah,
there's
I was surprised how many people were like, "Oh, this is actually decent." Because and not because of like, I mean, because I know Platinum Games has as far as like gameplay and everything, but you know, like the way I see this, 'cause, like this is an Activision published game, so what I'm thinking is like, okay, like they went to Platinum, it's like, okay, you got about a year to make this game. Like, you look at the screenshots for this game, they don't really look that good at all.
yeah.
But I can see like probably getting the gameplay mechanics down pretty okay. I can see them doing that really cool. But as far as like probably like scaling and like all that stuff, you know, like because like well, thankfully this is a shorter game, so hopefully like they can make it work. But I think it'll just be like an okay game at best.
It's like I think that's like kind of a safe bet, just to kind of preclude yourself from being like super disappointed.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 and this shit.
Yeah. Like it could come out and be like super awesome, who knows? But like, you know, I was watching like a video preview of like Jose Otero and Mitch Dyer from IGN talking about it, and they're like, yeah, switching between the different bending powers was actually really dynamic, and it worked. Like it didn't feel awkward. And that's cool. I having played a licensed Avatar game for 10 minutes before, not to get 1,000 achievement points, I'll say. I'm not one of those people. But just to play it because I'm like, man, they can't fuck this up. You know, I was young. I had GameFly. I had nothing to lose.
I had GameFly.
But yeah, they ruined it. But besides the point, this could be all right, and it's like that's a nice thing. Platinum, you know, they don't really fuck shit up. Like in my experience, like you say, Nobshin, I don't think they've really put out a bad game.
I would in my reevaluation of Anarchy Reigns, I would maybe put that on a list of a bad game.
Okay. And bad game in
But
Nobshin's
game's
heart.
it's not that bad. Anarchy Reigns. It's not a great game. I'll agree with that. That multiplayer is shitty.
That multiplayer is rough, but
Yeah. I mean, as far as a modern beat 'em up, like it's okay. It's better than a Dynasty Warriors, I'd say.
it is better than Dynasty Warriors. But it's like it's not as good as any of their other games, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, like Mad
Anarchy
World
Reigns
better
is
than that
like
game.
the bottom of the barrel of Platinum games. It's like they're the lowest member of the catalog. So what they give people to convince them that they're bad games.
I can agree with that. It's from the Mad World team. Like, and I think, and funny enough, I think it's the Mad World. The people who did Mad World is doing this Legend of Korra game. So yeah, keep that.
So
God damn it.
What the hell is
are you
happening?
breaking into your own house?
Are we all falling apart?
Scott's house is being robbed.
Scott's getting killed right now, guys. We have to do
It's gonna
something.
be like, did you guys see that? The chick who's playing, I think Dota, was like
yeah,
on camera, like streaming it on Twitch, and was getting robbed in the process.
Yeah, her house was getting broken into while she was playing like Dota or League of Legends or something.
What, she just wasn't paying attention to it or something?
Well,
No,
she
like-
heard the alarm, but the dudes rolled in like her room with like guns and shit, and they're like, "Give me all your shit."
Yeah, and then someone
Oh,
watching.
I thought she was like she was busy into the game. You see in the background of them carrying couch behind her. or
No,
something
dude,
like
like tiptoeing in the background, taking the TV. No, these guys came in and they were like fucking crap. They had like a vest on and like a shotgun. It was fucking serious.
Yeah, and then like
Yeah.
someone who knew the streamer, or someone who knew the streamer who was in a different country called the person that knew this streamer in question, and then they called the police, and then they were arrested, and she was okay. So
Yeah, it was outrageous.
the internet saved her life.
That kind of reminds me of Ride Along. At the end.
Right.
That Kevin Hart Ice Cube jam.
Yeah.
I saw that movie this year. I went on my 1-year anniversary with my roommate. I went and saw that movie.
That movie is really good.
That movie is not really good, but it's much funnier than it should be. I think. I feel like I'm getting like a dirty look from Jarrett.
Sorry, I should be giving you a dirty look and a scowl, but I was distracted. So you say you lucked out this time.
Scott, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
No. I had several power outages. All right, so I never really fixed my alarm clock because
so it just went off?
it just fucking went off, and I'm like,
Wake up!
again.
The
It's
worst
like
part would have been
every day at a different time.
the worst would have been like if you woke up middle of the podcast and it was like saying it was like 6 o'clock and you had to get ready to start podcasting. Like this horrible podcasting Groundhog Day situation. All right. Anyway, Legend of Korra Platinum Games game could be all right. We'll see. We will wait and see. I think that's a good pair though for a character action game. So I'm not too informed on this last news story. If someone who knows a bit more could inform me, that'd be great about Crytek.
I know a little bit about it. I did some research.
Okay.
For another side project I write. A friend of mine that I know personally has a podcast and a website on a podcast sort of network they have. I do their news recap.
Called IrrationalPod.
But I had to do a lot of research for this Crytek thing because I was writing a piece about it. And Crytek, apparently, as the story goes, since 2011, Crytek has had serious difficulties paying their employees. Literally 40 to 60% of them weren't receiving checks on time. And they have been bleeding employees for that long. Reports say upwards of 100 employees have left since 2011 on their own volition. Now, Crytek's a huge company. Crytek's like 800 employees or something like that.
Yeah, like they have Crytek USA.
But an eighth of them left in 3 years, an exodus.
Yeah.
And they're citing things like they just don't really trust the management to do their job. There's no communication really. Everyone's confused with the kind of things they're doing. And the story leaked because Kotaku apparently had a contact since March. They're trying to get like really good information on the story and kind of blew it wide open on a Tuesday. And it stemmed around like what's going to happen to all these franchises that in 2011 and 2012 they bought from THQ, like Homefront and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
What's going to happen to these franchises? They spent like Crytek really, besides the Crysis games and their engine, really didn't make a huge mark as far as gossip is concerned in the industry until they showed up at THQ randomly and just bought a bunch of shit. And people are wondering, did they even really have the money to buy any of this shit? And they're super quiet about what happens inside Crytek. You never really see anything about them until they release a game or something. So this is really the first look inside of how Crytek looks and how it works, and it's all bad. It's all like bad. Everyone's horror stories coming from all over the place, from inside and out, and no one knows. And Crytek's trying to, stop the bleeding and assure people that they're fine. But with a new MOBA coming at it and that Warface free-to-play shooter, it's still in development, and this Homefront game still in development that's supposed to be a big deal. Like, can they even really support this? Are they going to have people to make this game in the next 2 years?
Yeah. So, like, this Homefront game is coming out next year, correct?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's worrisome. Like, it's
It
kind
is
of crazy to have this kind of just slip out at some point. Like, we didn't know for 3 years people were having trouble getting paychecks.
And it even took them months to get a real story because people were afraid. People didn't like the weird, I guess, cloud over Crytek is that it's not so bad that people are running to the press to expose them immediately, but it's bad enough where this has been happening for so long, and now that one person has spoken up, many are speaking up. Like, there's been a rot going on forever, and no one said anything about it. Like, how does this happen? Like, it's really hard to keep secrets in this business, and somehow Crytek kept a really big one, and that's really bad.
Yeah. And, like, this is a shitty comparison, but it definitely reminds me of, what's it, Team Bondi?
Team Bondi.
Yeah.
Bondi, yeah.
In fucking Australia.
Bondi.
yeah, Bondi, whichever it was that was just basically working their employees to the bone, and like there was verbal abuse at their just like to work 16-hour shifts that just they were exhausted and they were burnt out, and
like some people were trying to appeal to Take-Two, and Take-Two was claiming they never even got these appeals, which with all the villainization of Bondi, like that doesn't sound bad off. Maybe something was intercepted just to sweep it under the rug until LA Noire came out. Then they realized LA Noire wasn't going to be the blockbuster hit they thought it was going to be, and now what? You have a bunch of overworked, like super disgruntled employees who got a 7 out of 10 game at most.
Yeah, it was just
and
like
no
that.
bonuses.
That was rough. That was rough to hear about. Just like, but yeah, this doesn't seem like it's maybe quite as bad as that, but it's definitely.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's getting worse.
Yeah.
And you don't know how bad it is.
Yeah, that's worrisome. Crytek is definitely a well-respected studio, at least based on their product. And this is not good news.
I mean, they canceled some projects, right? I think they canceled Rise.
Canceled
2.
Rise 2.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? Cancel Rise 2.
Yeah,
you don't
that's
need
a
to do it
safe.
again.
You're fine. Don't worry about that.
But what about Crysis 4? Or, stuff like that?
Mm.
And it just, from what this article had said, like it seemed like the CryEngine just isn't picking up a lot of attention.
No, once they made it public, no one's really biting on it. And they were hoping that was going to be a revenue stream, but no, not really.
I think only the first Far Cry used it, and I don't even think they use that anymore, do they?
No, they use the Far Cry engine,
No.
which is like kind of like a different take on it, from what I understand. But like,
They rebuilt that engine, I think, for Far Cry 3. Like
Yeah.
Far Cry 2 was pretty much that engine just retooled, but they rebuilt the entire game for Far Cry 3.
yeah,
Okay.
and like they're, I don't know, Ubisoft is using the Assassin's Creed engine for
Everything.
Rainbow Six, The Siege. So I don't know. That just seems so crazy to me. But yeah, that's worrisome. That's definitely bad news. Like Crytek just opened recently opened Crytek USA in Texas, and that was like a huge studio. And like they had hired on a bunch of the people from the Darksiders developer for that studio. And I don't even know if that studio still exists, or if it does, what's left of it. Yeah.
For what's the studio that bought it and changed the name to THQ?
North, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, North something.
Yeah.
Something cold.
Exactly. See, no one ever knew what their name was.
And now they're THQ, and they're like, well, yeah, he was 100% right. I have no idea who the fuck these people are.
Yeah.
But they bought, THQ and Darksiders, and that studio crumbled.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we got this. Sure.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's unfortunate news for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's it for news though. That's all we got here. Very slow news week. Depressing news week. You guys want to just roll right into some sweet emails?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Email
sack.
and voicemail. The mail.
Are
the sack.
we officially cutting the releases from the show now?
At this point, like, why do we even
I mean,
talk about them?
go on the internet.
I mean, because it's Evan.
Yeah, it's me.
Go check
Evan,
it out.
Evan, what's coming out this week, huh?
I don't know.
There you go. Oh,
Go to the Andrew Goldfarb Memorial list of PlayStation software on all three platforms by Andrew Anderson.
I just want to get some of this sweet email reading music.
Oh, yeah, front of the jams. There it is.
Oh yeah. All right.
A little
Yeah.
sweaty hearing that.
it's getting hot in here, man. We have one email from our good friend Harold. He says, "Hey guys, my PS4 arrived this week. He mentioned last week that he was gonna get a PS4 on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to the games I already had via PS Plus and cross-buy, I also picked up Flower, Octodad, and Entwined. I've enjoyed it very much so far, and I'm excited that Spry Fox announced the release date for Road Not Taken, my game of PAX East. That brings me to my question. What is the next game you're looking forward to? Stay rational, my friends. H. That's a good question.
For
What's up next?
PS4 in general.
Next,
Let's say in general.
next game. I am.
Persona 5.
Banana 2.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're not looking forward to Super Smash Brothers.
Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to Super Smash Brothers.
On the Wii, not really that much.
On the Wii U, like I'm gonna like it on the 3DS, but I'm not gonna love it on the 3DS. It's the Wii U version. That's Daddy's real version, you know.
Yeah.
I guess like the next game I'm really looking forward to is Dragon Age 3. Like I'm excluding Last of Us Remastered because like I know what that game is. It's gonna be good, but I know what it is.
We think Dragon Age 3 is going to come out before a
Dragon
lot
Age
of
3.
the other games.
Dragon Age 3 is
October.
October like 4th, maybe. I don't know.
No, not 4.
It's either the first week of October or the last week of October.
I think it's like October 7th.
The Inquisition. That is October 7th, yeah.
Playable Kunari. Down with that.
Playable Kunari. Yeah, that's
The
right.
race.
That's right. That's gonna be cool. Although I'm still just gonna pick like a human or an elf because I'm like racist or something. I don't know. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll figure it out. I'm still young.
Not quite sure if you're right.
Feeling out my bigotry.
I'm discovering what I'm a bigot against and for. I don't know. Yeah, Dragon Age 3 is like the big one, and like outside of that, fucking Fantasy Life, which I still think about every day for some reason, just eating away at me.
You're like the only person that ever talks about that.
I know, and fuck everyone else because that game is great.
Hey man, and I'm on board with you on that one.
Fantasy Life
am.
looks so good. Scott, you and I will co-op like all the way through that game, all 200 hours of that game, and fuck everyone else. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just make that a thing.
Only co-op Fantasy Life with Scott. That's not how it's gonna end up happening, but I bet I will play most of my co-op with Scott.
Alright, I'm gonna list off some games to see if anybody's excited for any of these.
When that game comes out, I'm gonna bug the fuck out of you about it.
Okay, that's fair.
Diablo 3, the Ultimate Edition.
Nope.
I probably won't have money to buy that when it comes out.
Oh, your first game's gonna be Tales of Xillia.
Oh yeah, that game comes out in
It's
August.
August.
See, like I always forget about that's pretty soon. Like that's good.
There's Metro Redux, Danganronpa 2, that's September 2nd.
That's good. That'll be good.
Theatrhythm Final Fantasy Curtain Call, Massive Chalice, Hyrule Warriors.
Ooh, when's Massive Chalice come out?
28th
Of
of September.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about Hyrule Warriors, by the way. Like I fucked up. I slipped up and I got excited about that game. And I'm already sad about it, so don't fucking tell me how stupid I am for wanting to play that game.
You are fucking up, son.
I know. But whatever.
Alright, looks like my first game is going to be Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. Either that or Persona 4 Q. I don't even know when that's coming out.
That's probably gonna be November, I would say.
Do they have to be like the next sequential game to be excited about?
The next game that is coming out that you're going to be real pumped. How's that?
That actually literally doesn't answer my question.
Yes, let's say that.
It is.
Because the next game I'm excited about comes out next year.
Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Well, that's a game to be excited about, for sure.
But like, doesn't mean I'm not going to buy other games. Like, I'm probably going to buy Evolve. I think I've been sold on Evolve.
Yeah, I think Evolve will be good. We should get like a Writer's Ramble Evolve night going on. Because I know Jacob's going to get that and
Yeah,
Zach's
he's
going
going
to
to
get
get
it.
that shit.
But what
Better.
system?
PS4. Durr.
I'll probably end up getting it for PS4. I'll be like, fuck you, Zach, I'm sorry. I'll feel bad about it, but like, I don't know. More people I know have PS4s than Xbox Ones, unfortunately. Xbox One
maybe-
is a good system.
Maybe Destiny.
Destiny.
I don't know how much time I'll have.
Oh, that game.
Yeah, that game. That all PlayStation Plus members. Well, I talked to Joe last night, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fucking pissed that all PS Plus members get Destiny beta, just access, whatever." And he's like, "Why?" The
Yeah,
fuck
I thought that was bullshit too.
He's like, "Why the fuck did I pre-order that game?"
Because you're an asshole, that's why.
And I said because they still wanted you to fucking pre-order it. They just didn't say you could get the beta another way.
They need your $5, friend.
Yeah.
You know how many betas I got into without pre-ordering? It's just like, look on Twitter, and it's like, oh, there's a code.
Look on, like,
I'm on the
Raptor.
beta.
Raptors just gives shit
Yeah.
away. Like, you want to be in a beta, I guess? And you're like, I mean, I guess. Turn my computer on.
Pre-orders are such bullshit now these days. Like, oh god, like, I can't even remember. Like,
betas
the last...
are such bullshit now these days.
That's also true.
Oh.
Especially when you pay
Yeah,
for
but
it.
like, when was the last decent? No, okay, this is our closing time, I guess, right now. When was the last decent pre-order that you actually got?
The last pre-order?
Persona Q, because I'm gonna get those fucking sweet tarot cards.
I don't know. I don't remember, like, the last... In fact, the last pre-order gift I got was for Street Fighter 4. Ryu's headband. And I'm like, this is gay as hell.
Oh,
I like put it on, and my friend was like, take that off. I was like, why?
You take that.
So you look like a pretend prince. I was like, what does that mean?
Just tell us what you wanted to be all along. How you play that out? Tell him that he's questioning your dreams.
Question your dreams.
I took it off and looked at it, and I was like, I do look like a really gay prince.
Which is
And that was like
something.
the last one I had.
The last good pre-order I got was Dark Souls 1, when they, like, if you pre-ordered it early enough, they just upgraded you to, like, the deluxe edition, which was the same price, and it came in, like, a metal container and had, like, the soundtrack and a map for free. So that was good. I'm actually looking at the box right now. That's a really cool thing that I have now, so.
I think my last really good pre-order, and I say good in quotes, is when I pre-ordered Birth by Sleep, and it gave me, like, decals for my PSP. And I don't know, I enjoyed that. It was stupid, but I enjoyed that.
The first run of Kingdom Hearts 1.5 had the art book and stuff. That was cool. If you pre-ordered.
I pre-ordered
that's a
Final
pre-order,
Fantasy 12, and that came with the art book.
Yeah, and like
And,
I like the way that they do
case and
it
shit.
because the pre-orders that they come with pretty much only interest the people, or at least I think that they only interest the people who are already into the series.
Yeah.
So it's
Another thing.
yeah.
Go ahead. But another thing about pre-orders, though, like, especially with GameStop, like, literally, you could, like the GameStop I used to go to back in Virginia, like, it was like, hey, you got any pre-orders that stuff, extras that you don't want anymore? And like, sure, just take them. They just give the fucking shit to you. So it was like,
Oh yeah,
I got-
100%. The same thing near me. They're like, yo, you didn't sell these the first week, so I just put them on the shelf. I'm like, of
I
course you
got
will.
a Sonic doll. I got a Sonic doll in my closet right now that I got for like I think it was Sonic 2006. And I was like, oh, can I get that? Because I was willing to pay money for it. Because I was a big Sonic fan back then. I was willing to pay money for it. I was like, oh, you can take it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. And like, I was people like, hey, you got any extra shit that you don't want? He's like, oh, just take it. I got so many codes and dumb shit from that. I think I had an Age of Conan figure for once. I never even played that fucking game, and whatever. I had that.
Remember we
Age of Conan.
they had the fucking EA's limited edition bullshit. I guess they don't really do anymore. I was just like the first run, you get the limited edition,
Oh yeah,
just
it was
like-
like a super special case. It had like a number in it.
but like every single copy of that game was the limited edition. Like every single one ever printed ever. It's like the Dead Space 2
Need Hot
limited
Pursuit.
edition. Yeah,
Yeah, that was one. Yep.
so stupid.
Yep.
Evan, what about you? What's the next game you're looking forward to? Battlefield Hardline?
Yeah.
What about?
It'd have to be Battlefield Hardline.
Are you looking forward to Destiny?
No.
You didn't play that alpha, did you?
No.
I didn't get in. Joe didn't get in. Weirdly enough.
Totally
you
got
asked
in.
me. I would've gave him- Oh,
I didn't care about getting in. It didn't.
Whatever.
You might have liked it, Evan. I don't know. Like, I honestly don't know. Like, that's a game I'm still so on the fence on, but we'll see. Now I know that a lot more people will be in the beta. I'll be able to play with more people.
You know what? I need a friend. I need a friend to get my
Fuck you,
PS4
Donaldson.
first person. No, to get my PS4 first person shooter shit too. Because like I used to give everything to my friend Mark, and now like I can't even do that anymore. Like anytime I get Xbox One stuff, like I give him my Titanfall beta because like I'm not gonna put it here. Mark take it and like, oh yeah, cool. And, like I just need someone to give all my dumb shit to that I get because I sign up for
All my
everything.
dumb shit too.
Joe would be very receptive to that. That's for sure.
Yeah,
say.
I'll get my shit to Joe.
All right, Scott. What about you? Next one you're looking forward to?
Again, Adam, I am. All I know is that a bunch of games are coming out
In October.
in October, November, and November. Oh, I'm tired. And
It's okay. We're almost done.
I shouldn't be, but I am.
It's okay.
And because all of those days blur into me, I've got no idea what this answer is.
Probably.
But
So
I
like,
do know that it's one of those games.
in October, Smash Brothers comes out before Fantasy Life. So there you go. Probably Smash Brothers.
Okay, and that's in October, and that's pretty early. So yeah.
You know what's a
In
surprising
October-
October game for me that I'm actually excited about? I don't know if I'm gonna buy it, but when I was watching gameplay for it during E3, I was kind of like convinced that this game might be good. Shadow Mordor.
Yeah, that game looks really good.
Yeah,
I had like no hope
comes
for that
out
game
in October.
because it was a it's a weird
Oh, it's a
license, a
licensed
weird
game, yeah.
use of a license, and I watched it. It's like Assassin's Creed, but in Mordor, and you're fucking just
It's
intense like the entire game.
It's that game and like the one that's kind of like Dark Souls meets Kingdoms of Amalur.
Deep Down, is that what it's called?
No, not Deep Down. Fuck. It's like a new IP.
It looks
made.
like a better Bound by Flame. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
It looks like a more detailed, easier to access. I mean, is it like Lords of the Fallen, maybe?
Yeah, Lords of the Fallen. That's what it is. Nailed it. That looks like a totally good game.
Yeah, that could be a not Dark Souls like, but Dark Souls like jam.
Yeah, and that looks like fun. That and Shadow of Mordor are on like the same tier of this. These games could be really cool. Like I might
Right.
actually really like these. So, assuming I am getting paid regularly by this fall, I will hopefully buy them. But yeah,
That means you need to go
RPGs.
job hunting, Alex.
yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. A lot of RPGs coming out this fall, which is good. Very good. I love RPGs. So, and I got Tales and Persona Q. So enough JRPG goodness. Thank you, Harold, for the email. Appreciate it. Let's go to our voicemail. We have one from our voicemail aficionado himself, Silver PR. Hopefully it works. It works this time. He said he will finally answer the unanswered questions about Nintendo's Zelda showcase from E3. So we'll finally know. It's downloading. Working on it. Still there.
God, Jesus.
Alex, you need to download these before the podcast.
Well, like I open it in my phone and like it downloads on the spot, and I can't like save it to my phone, unfortunately. But here we go.
How's it going, Irrational Passion Crew? PR here. Sorry for last week. I thought I was recording in an MP3 format, but I did it with my cell phone. But the thing is that my computer got busted, didn't want to turn on. I thought it was a memory problem. Still, that I had a
It's only a 7-minute voicemail, guys. Don't worry about it.
memory problem altogether. Instead of 2 gigs of RAM that I did have, one of them got busted, and I just was running on one. So I bought one that had 2 gigs. So I was running in the same number of gigs that I was before. It's a 5-year-old plus computer. But the problem was that my SLI slot on my motherboard with my video card was fucked up, and I needed just to switch it, and it ran just fine for now. It's a 5-year-old plus computer. I need just to let it roll until it lasts, and then just buy a new computer afterwards. But I digress. Let's start with games. Just one that I want to mention, or 2 exactly. Demon Souls. I beat the first boss in the first world. I believe it's like a big jelly, sub-boss, I should call.
Slime.
It's a big blob
Slime.
thingy with a lot of blobs that had shields on it. That was a bitch to
I
kill.
beat that thing.
And I
It's
beat
fire.
that, and then I went through the corridor, open corridor, that dragon was just raining fire,
Yep.
and then went underground
Rain of
through a
fire.
patchway, and then 6 hyenas started attacking me.
Yep.
And they killed me.
Yep.
And again.
Yes.
And again.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember
again,
this
and I just let
distinctly.
the controller down and just walked away because I was.
Wait till you get to the Flame Lurker.
I don't know if I want to get into it. It's daunting.
But I
That's when I
love
quit.
that guy.
I'm old. Get out of my fucking.
But I
world.
love that guy.
Okay.
Flame Lurker.
Uh,
It's okay, Silver PR.
But and also the Zen Pinball 2 Deadpool table.
Mm.
Hilarious. Nolan North as Deadpool with a lot of random jokes, random shenanigans that are so fucking distracting if you want to go for a score, but in a good way. Just saying. At least after a time it gets old and you get used to it and you just concentrate on on the ball. But it's a good
Ladies.
table. People should buy it if you have Sim Table 2. Well, you have Sim Table 2 free on the PS4, I believe. Also in the Xbox One, I think. But I don't know. It's a good table. Just $3. Give it a spin. But let's go for my tangents. Let's go for the thing that you thought you would never know, and it's Nintendo. In a sum, it was an okay direct download,
I liked
and
it.
the only gripe that I have is with the whole Zelda thing, and it's just okay. There's an old saying that fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And and I mean is when they show a realistic Zelda back in the day in the GameCube, and everybody was hyped and excited, and then they show us Wind Waker, and we went, what the fuck? Where's my Zelda? But then again, nothing against Wind Waker. It was an awesome game. I had it myself, and then did die because that fucking ocean was vast and
Yep.
crazy and good. It was a good game. But then they show us the technical demo because I have to realize I have to be okay with it. It wasn't like the promise that it was going to be a realistic Zelda in the Wii U, but they show you a technical demo about a looking realistic Zelda game, just like Twilight Princess, and I get upset because why do you have to go with the cell shading? It's okay, the cell shading, it's cool, it's hip, but
Hip.
the thing is, if you show me something in the beginning, don't show me something different later. And if they had show us a cell shading technical demo, very impressive, back when the Wii U was announced, maybe I didn't have this kind of feelings. Just saying. I'm not like I'm not doubting that this Zelda game is gonna be amazing. At least it's just a promise, like almost everything that EA told us weeks ago.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Mhm.
And also
Yeah.
by Bayonetta 2, I'm jealous for the Wii U owners. And I don't know. I feel, in my
Bracket Silver
opinion,
PR.
a Bayonetta fan with PS3 because although it was a worse version, I feel like they taken this franchise hostage. But then again, it was a franchise that didn't sell that well, so they needed somebody to fund it if it want to make a reality. So yeah, Nintendo stepped to the plate, and well, I'm happy for Platinum. Also, I'm happy for Platinum for whatever they're getting in stores for Legend of Korra, because I need to see what the hell is all that about. Uh,
Oh,
and my
that's good.
tangents. Also, I went to a party this past Thursday, and
Okay.
nobody, I usually have my party games. I have Buzz and You Don't Know Jack, and a lot of people in the party, just besides two that they have played with me in my house, they didn't know Jack. They don't know Jack about You Don't Know Jack, and someday, what is this game? Like, it's a trivia game. Like, what is it? Like, trust me, you will love it. And we started playing, and the whole room laughed their ass off every freaking time for every freaking question. It's a good party game. Just saying. It gives good laughs and a lot of what the fucks, and it's hilarious. Also, I just want to give my final side tangent about the new TMNT trailer.
Oh.
I still think Michael Bay is the fucking Midas of Hollywood. Although
Reverse
I
Midas.
warmed up a little
Midas.
bit to this trailer because I
Reverse
saw the
Midas.
dynamic of the brothers in action. Also, Mega Shredder or Megatron slash Shredder, whatever it's called.
Mecha Shredder.
Mega
It kind
Shredder.
of looked ridiculous.
So dumb.
A lot of blades in it. Just saying, that's fucking overkill. But the trailer was okay. I saw a lot of comments in the TMNT site on YouTube, and although they still have negative
It's like number
connotations
one.
to it, a lot of people warm up to the idea, and just like me. But I just upgraded the idea of it, that not going drunk to see in the movie, to going sober with my nephew, because I was gonna plan to see it with my nephew, and I was
He just wants to take that to the
drop
face.
a couple shots on my system before going to see it. I think I'm gonna see it sober for now.
Some drinks on the
Also, I think Megan Fox is gonna be horrible in this movie because the whole trailer, she just got
Because
one
her-
fucking line
History is I'm going to be horrible in every movie I'm in.
in the trailer, and I think it's because there's some big red
Dedication
flags
to the role,
with
man.
her.
Yeah.
What else is not red flags with her in any movie? Just saying. But yeah. And also, I just want to give you my really, and this is my really final tangent.
Okay.
Guys, Legend of Korra, it's already started by the time
Bonus
this thing is
round.
published.
Yep.
And I'm so pissed off because my cable company doesn't have Viacom anymore. So I don't have any NTV, Spike, but the most important of them all, no Nickelodeon.
Ooh.
So
Oh, sorry, my phone just turns off sometimes. I apologize, Silver Pierre. He's listening somewhere. He's like, fucking pieces of shit. There was 30 seconds left, and you're just sitting there.
They're like, fuck it, we're done.
I want to hear it.
my phone just happened, just turned off.
Oh no! By happenstance. I'm currently trying to download The Legend of Korra Season 3 Episode 1 while I was listening. That's why.
how's it going? Problem about just like cable company red flags we're hearing. Viacom
Got it.
don't have any NTV,
Remix.
Wicca.
Spike, but the most important of them all, no Nickelodeon. So I have to go for other means to watch this, and I don't think I'm gonna buy Hulu Plus just for this. Just saying. So
Is it
yeah,
on Hulu?
I have to bit myself out there and grab them. Just saying. They don't give me any choice. Don't judge me. But yeah, that's all I have to say this week. You guys, have a fun one. CLPR, signing out.
Thank you, Silver PR.
Quick thing that we didn't mention in the news, but I just now remembered. Satoru Iwata got re-elected as president.
Yeah, after he had successful surgery and he's recovering from removal of something on his bile duct. So
He
Good on
was
him.
like, good, I don't have the odeomorphine. I can actually keep my job.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, good stuff. Iwata, he's a very good president and CEO. I think.
Hopefully, he can turn everything around.
Yeah, hopefully.
Despite
if it turns
everybody
around,
and
I
their
won't-
mama telling him no, you must get out of there. I mean, Jesus Christ.
It wouldn't be
Regardless,
Satoru Iwata's fault if it didn't turn around.
yeah, it would be a lot of faults of things.
It'd be a lot of
But-
people's faults.
Yeah. Regardless, if he does end up moving on, he's gonna kick ass in whatever he does next, for sure. There you go. Thank you, Silver PR. I was hoping there would be a question at the end of that, but man, fuck that Ninja Turtles trailer. Holy shit. That was the
you
worst
see that,
trailer.
Garrett?
I watched all of it. It was awful.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of it.
I seen the trailer. I mean, I thought the first trailer was terrible, but no, this one's not as bad as the other one. I mean,
I thought the reverse of that.
that's weird. That's so weird. The first trailer I saw was that is not a trailer. That looks so bad to me, but I don't know. This one, I don't know.
They're both horrible.
They're not aliens. That's stupid. They're turtles.
I think it's like I can't get super upset. Like the first time I saw the first trailer, I was like, "Wow, this is like whack." But I had to like pull myself back and realize what I'm talking about are fucking giant teenage turtles that fight that fight evil, a clan of ninja, and a super like creepy ass samurai dude who killed another guy who happened to be the trainer of a rat who then trained these turtles to be giant ninjas.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, completely fucking ridiculous. So when Michael Bay's like, let's make them fucking aliens, does it really matter? We're talking about giant fucking turtles.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
does
like-
matter.
It does matter. I agree. I didn't really care, but this just trailer, as a movie trailer, just rubbed me the wrong way.
It's not to say this movie's not going to be bad. It's good. It looks like it's going to be fucking terrible.
There's
But
just, like,
it's
this-
not going to be terrible because of it's a live action fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
There's
It's
this
gonna be
moment.
bad because Michael Bay doesn't really.
There's a moment in the trailer where the turtles get like captured and they're like ushered into a truck, and then it's dark for a moment, and then like the bass drops, and then it's just whoop step for like 30 seconds, and it's so fucking bad. Oh god, it was just not good.
Honestly, I'm so tired of just getting angry over fucking dumb shit like this. I'm just so sick of it now. I don't even care anymore. I really don't. the way I vote for it is just not paying attention to it, and not putting my mind to
Yeah.
it. That's why I haven't seen like this fucking Transformer thing. Like people are like, oh, I hate fucking Transformers. I'm gonna see it in the movie theaters. No, fuck you. Don't go there. I hate that.
Marky
shit.
Mark and Transformers, you fucking stupid. Take my
Yeah.
$16 in 3D and shit.
like Transformers, I honestly don't really care either way. Like, I was too young to watch the original cartoon and blah blah blah. I missed out on that. But like, I just like watching really good special effects in the Transformers movies. Like that's literally the only reason I would see it in theaters. But like Ninja Turtles, just like it doesn't look like a fun movie. Like it doesn't look like a movie I will enjoy. That's why I'm not supporting it. And for all the other reasons, I'm not angry. I'll say, but it was a bad fucking trailer. I think. I don't know how that trailer specifically is swaying people, but maybe it's not my place to understand.
It's not your place to understand.
It's not my place.
I'll see it if suddenly Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are in it, and it's actually Bad Boys 3.
Like at some point, like the Ninja Turtles team up with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, and they all go into a convenience store and ask for some fucking Bubblicious. That would actually be the best movie ever made.
I'd be like, well, obviously I'm going to see that.
Yeah, I actually recently watched Bad Boys all the way through for the first time, and it was great.
You know what? The older I get, the less I dislike the first Bad Boys. I'm like, this movie's actually not terrible.
It's very campy.
I'm like convincing myself that movie's actually good, which is a mistake. But the first Bad Boys like has something there for people. I think.
It's
The second one maybe not, but the first one's like not a bad movie.
I enjoyed Bad Boys in a very specific way. That's for sure. As someone who I love buddy cop movies. Rush Hour 2 is like the best movie ever made in my book. Take what I say with a grain of salt.
Have you seen the Rush Hour 2 outtakes?
Yes. They're great.
Where they kick the dude off the building, and he's like, well, guess he's not coming back for Rush Hour 3.
I really like the Rush Hour 3 outtakes where they're just having Jackie Chan say all this fucking really dirty, disgusting shit. He's like, what are you telling me to say? Anyway,
Since we're on this movie tangent before we close out, is anybody else getting sick of all this Star Wars news, or is it just me because I don't like Star Wars that much? Star Wars getting delayed because Harrison Ford broke his leg, so oh my god, you can't go a week without seeing something about Star Wars. It's just
yeah. I mean, I fucking love Star Wars, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah, they already kind of ruined Star Wars for me, but they didn't ruin the original trilogy. They tried to, but that shit is sacred to my childhood, untouchable in my book. The new movies were not good. I thought Revenge of the Sith was just I was just disappointed. I wasn't angry by the end of the day. I was just disappointed.
You're just a disappointed dad.
Yeah, I was just disappointed at that point. Star Wars, when they put Empire Strikes Back in the theaters in the 90s, I went and saw it with my dad, and it was that was the thing that we had. We both love Star Wars. That movie is magical to me.
Your father-son moment, I love you, Dad. I love you, son.
That was our fucking, and then we watched fucking AT-ATs get fucking destroyed by snowspeeders, and it was awesome. And fuck everything else. And then
I was bad. Fuck nigga, model shit. We're gonna see Star Wars together. That's our bonding experience.
Goddamn right.
Little bottle ships.
And it was that was special to me. And then the new movies, I saw all of them. I was like, these just aren't good. They ruin they attempt to ruin the magic that made the original Star Wars good. So I'm completely turned off to these new movies. But they got J.J. Abrams directing it, and they got the Gary Whitta writing the first spin-off movie. And that could be good. And they have the director for Godzilla, which I really liked, doing that movie as well. And they announced the director of Looper is running episode 8. So,
which is a great fucking idea, by the way.
Yes, I agree. And that could be good. They could be good, but I'm not excited. I'm very purposefully not excited. I'll probably see them in theaters. I'll be I'll try and go in with an open mind, but we'll see what happens. It is weird that
I
you
think
can't go
my-
a week without fucking Star Wars news.
My most like they can't ruin it for me because my favorite part of the Star Wars universe will probably never be a movie, and that's like the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the coolest shit ever in the Star Wars universe, in my opinion. And they'll never make movies about that. I don't think. They'll continue making games about it probably, but that was when the fucking West was wild and a galaxy far, far away, and motherfuckers can do crazy shit.
Yep.
When Sith were people like a race on a planet,
Yeah.
motherfuckers aren't ready for that. I'm down with that shit.
Agreed. Oh no. Scott, do you have any? Scott, Evan, do you guys have any attachment to Star Wars?
No, not really.
Not really. I mean, I love that. I love that series, but
You see, that's the thing I don't. When movies 1, 2, and 3 came out, I had already saw the other 3, but for me, there was nothing to ruin.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just never
like, the thing about
attached.
Star Wars. The thing about Star Wars is always about the pop culture about it, and like the stuff people make fun of. I know more stuff about Star Wars because of the pop culture of it more than I know about the actual movies of Star Wars.
Yeah. Like, and I
I
get
know
that, like,
Anakin. I got the higher ground Anakin. I know about Martini. I know about all this this dumb shit like that. That's because I watched Robot Chicken. I watched Family. I used to watch Family Guy. I used to watch The Simpsons. All these little everything just brings up. It's I don't know. I'm weird.
You're fine. No, that makes sense. Like, there's so much, like, Star Wars was such a classic that there was so much response to it. So much so that you could just drown in the response and then hate Star Wars without ever even watching it because you felt like you'd seen enough of it. But yeah.
My friend, he doesn't like you. I don't like you either.
I'm gonna buy some death sticks. Let's end this. You can be a part of the show, like Harold and Silver PR, or by sending us an email to mailsack@irrationalpassions.com. That's MAIL sack@irrationalpassions.com, or leave us a voicemail at 404-590-1337.
it's likely.
Because it is. Keep in mind that standard long distance fees do apply. You can follow each of us on Twitter. I'm at AlFighter27, which spells just like it sounds, AlFighter27. It's not complicated. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Evan is at Sticker Glue. All one
Hey,
word.
that's me.
Scott is at What Te Chuz. That's difficult to spell, but fuck you. Nobishin is at Nobishin186. That's NEBESHIN 186. And Jarrett is at Jarrett John. All one word. Some other stuff. Please rate and review us on iTunes. Check us out on Stitcher. That helps us out a lot. Follow the site on Twitter at IrrationalPod. And tell your friends. Because word of mouth is the best way to spread the love. And while you're at it, check out
Also-
What?
Also, me and Alex are looking for hopefully having a female guest on the show, like eventually. And it's not just like something like, oh, they made the dragon tattoo video game. There's a rape scene. Let's get a female in here. Let's talk about it. No, it's not something like that. It's about like having a different dynamic. It's about having a different dynamic on the show. It's like
Girl with
having
the
a
Dragon
different
Tattoo
opinion,
video game would be the worst fucking tragedy and the best disaster ever to ever happen.
Yep.
It's about just like keeping the dynamic. Yeah.
I don't know, man. People
Cool.
say it was a great movie. At least they can make it into a decent game.
You said that with such fucking scorn. At least they can do is fucking make a decent game, I guess. Continue now, Bishop.
But yeah, it's just about bringing diversity because like me and Jared are holding on the black of the Irrational Passions group, and you have a bunch of white people here. So like, let's get a female in here. Let's talk about stuff that you like.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Like female
talk.
bonus points.
There's a lot of talk about how panels of hosts and podcasts is just disgustingly too many straight white dudes, and I get that, and I'd like to diversify my panel, but not for any particular reason, just to diversify.
Exactly.
Another thing I just want to mention, congratulations to Gamer Chatter for joining the Retroids Podcast Network. We are a part of the Retroids Podcast Network, and Gamer Chatter just recently joined, and that's cool. So check them out, Gamer Chatter on iTunes, if you are curious. With that, yeah, just check out irrationalpassions.com. That's where you can find all of this and more. and all that great writing and whatnot. So, that's it. We did our closing topic. We talked about shitty pre-orders and Star Wars movies. So, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Jarrett, for joining us.
Yeah, Jared.
No problem.
And congrats again on
Glad to be here.
writing for IGN. That was really dope.
Sweet.
Check
Thanks,
it out.
bitch.
Thank you, Nabashin. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Evan. I've been Alex O'Neill, your host this evening. Play your game, stay rational. We will talk to you guys next week.
Up the week give out.
I'm a little tipsy.
Thanks.
I was really focused on not slurring my words right there. So, cut me some slack, all right?
Okay.
Read me some titles, please. Thank you.
All right. Titles. WCW World Chair Wrestling. Olivia while on your queen size bed. The Irrational Passions Bump. I brought you up. I can bring you back down. I got 99 problems, but Chipotle ain't one. Just call me John Hurt, because I'm about to rip out this chest. Oh, God, I forgot about that. Never forget Twilight Princess. It got kind of gay.
Gay?
I didn't mean to put the question mark.
Okay.
You have family, but they get it. Oh, that's right.
But they'll get it.
Yeah, but they'll get it. You have family, but they'll get it. 10 Prince. TMNT is Bad Boys 3. Father-son Star Wars bonding. Girl with the dragon tattoo, the video game. And Bayonetta 2 in Persona 5.
Guys, go pre-order Persona Q. These are really good.
I got nothing for any of these, so damn. I'm too tired. Why am I so tired? The fuck.
You can go to sleep.
I'm
Scott.
probably not gonna go to sleep for another like 6 hours.
What the fuck, man?
What?
You gotta sleep when you're tired.
Nope.
I'd like to. It's
Like,
just
there's
how it works.
There's so many, like, this Just Call Me John Hurt because I'm about to rip out. This chest is great. I brought you up. I can bring you back down is great. TMNT is Bad Boys 3 is great. You have family, but they'll get it is so good. I'm gonna stick with a simple one. I like Pretend Prince.
I like Pretend Prince or the Irrational Passions Bump.
Let's see. I like Brought You Up. I can bring you back down. That's one.
That one's good.
And fuck it, I like Dragon Tattoo as well. The video game.
They can at least make a decent video game.
I'm trying to vote for the one that I can come up with that third part. Does anybody else have a third part
No.
at all? Ever? God damn.
I always rely on you for it, Scott.
I know.
That's your thing. That's your opening, changing, dumb thing that I do every week.
Mm-hmm. Like last time it was too much to say,
Yeah.
and I did not have
Last
enough
time was
to
so
change.
inappropriate.
It was appropriate for what had happened.
Yeah, but it was fucking hilarious.
It was
That makes
appropriate
sense.
for the title, not so much for anything else.
No. Yep. That sums it up.
I like the Irrational Passions Bump.
Oh, Ethan watched all of Legend of Korra Season 2 in 2 days, by the way.
Yeah, he likes it.
Yeah. So we're
No, really, Scott.
Rational Passions Bump. You said Evan.
Yeah.
Can we get behind that? 'Cause that's 2 for that. That's the only 2.
There's 2 for that and 2 for Pretend Prince.
Yeah.
So a coin flip could solve this.
I am. All right, what is this Irrational Passions Bump? What are we talking about here?
It was when Jarrett was like talking about the writing, and then I made the joke that Greg Miller got 100,000 followers on Twitter after he was on our podcast, and then he said the Irrational Passions Bump, and it was good. I can flip this Metroid Prime
I could work with that.
labeled GameCube.
I could work with that.
All right, then we'll do
Just
that.
roll a GameCube like a dice.
It was a GameCube memory card, but it has a heads and tails. All right, heads for Ratchet Patch Bump, tails.
How about this Pretend Prince? I like Pretend Prince better than that.
Oh, it was tails anyway, so yeah, that worked out. Pretend Prince it is. Jared, do you think you can say the title?
I got nothing different for this one.
It's all right.
What's up?
Do you think you can say Pretend Prince after one of us says the episode number?
Sure.
All right. Who wants to say the episode number? I forget who did it last time.
Evan.
Yeah, here, I'll do it since I don't have anything for the third part.
All right, Scott, do it to it.
This is Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 184.
Pretend Prince.
Game. Louse. Oh, you're
Oh, that's how the magic's made. You can stop recording now. Jared, what was your total time?
I have to send you 2 pieces.
Okay.
I have 154 and some other shit.
Okay. I'll figure it
32, I think.
out. Okay. We lost about 8 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah, I didn't realize it froze until I was looking away from the Google Hangout and saw that it was gray. And I was like, well, that's probably not good.
It's all right. I can make it work. I always do.
So, yeah, two files will be incoming.
Okay.
I'll do that tomorrow, though.
Cool. As long as I have it by Sunday, that's all I'm worried about.
Yeah.
All right, you all are free to go if you'd like to disperse and watch Legend of Korra, respectively.
I'm assuming that you don't want to do that over Google Hangout.
I mean, I would, but I'm probably gonna end up watching it with Ethan, and I'm gonna eat, so I might not do it till
Okay.
tomorrow. So,
Yeah. I didn't watch the new Adventure Time, then I'll watch that.
all right, it was a good show. Thank you for coming on,
I-
Barrett.
I guess
No problem.